Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished.
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take they know a boss is coming.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Welcome to Mayberry. Population Army of One.
A lot of mother fifers spreading my name with rage. Masked up, dropping the bass now, ready to laugh you off the stage. It's that umbrella guy back with the mic check, standing still crushing the show. We're PR, no we're not. Wait, a website interfering with his cash flow. And maybe stop using kids to push your cheap products.
But they're shiny rocks. Yeah, you can't sell them shaped like small roosters. Yeah, roosters, that's it.
Yo, roosters. And while we're dancing, let's kick this into overdrive. Wrecking the hardwood to see if roaches will survive. How many people have they threatened and docked so far? Targeting witnesses and police while claiming nowhere PR. There's a legal line, and you're too dumb to know you've crossed it. Dial a lawyer, maybe they'll tell you to toss it. And here's a question, how to tuck yourself into bed, knowing what they keep in a bottle in the back of that shed.
The ex you ignore.
You say listen and believe, well, you got it. Your own client's version of truth. Yeah, we've sought it. Pretending everyone is sympathetic, but the things she's alleges you're ignoring now, that's pathetic. Pretend alright, but keep flexing, pretending you can't lose, hoping you'll make on the nightly news. At this rate, not only will you fail, but one of you morons might land themselves under the jail. Funny how it's their truth you're being sacrificed on the altar for. Not the truth, their truth, their version of whatever makes the chains jangle. But hey, as long as you sell a few shiny baubles and get some greenbacks, you're okay with it, right? Right. Cause you know it ain't right.
All right, what's up? Me and my colleague, Megan Box. What's up, Megan Box?
Coming to you live from Kodunk Row in my brand new cardboard box. What the Hales found for me. My God, that thing it's unbelievable. It's so spacious in here.
You're like, man, you know, I never thought I could add on to my lovely cardboard home, but now. Thank you. Oh, man. God, I'd forgotten what song that was. You know, it'd been so long since
I know. We hadn't heard it in so long. I forgot about the roosters. That was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was... There's so much weird, funny shit.
Rocks shaped like, well, roosters.
Roosters.
If you know, you know.
Oh, my God, man. This thing, you know, we are back in another Christmas. I do remember, you know, like all this blurs together, but you know, I remember the Christmas songs from last year and all that wonderful stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I'd forgotten some of the other oddity, let's say. There's been a lot of oddity after all.
Oh, yes. I mean, I've been going through all the old stuff, looking for our very first show, which I still haven't found, by the way. But I'm looking through all of it, and I found so many hilarious memes that have come out of our time together that I'm collecting it all for the Mugiversary show. At some point, we have to have one. Although I can't figure out when it actually is. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I can't figure out when the anniversary of this show actually is. It's still a mystery. I'm still trying.
That is a perfect avatar. That clips out good. He glows well.
Oh, look at that. I love it. I need my Christmas one. Where's my Christmas one? Hold on. I got to pull it up. I hope I didn't delete it.
Just make
Oh
new
my
ones.
God. I think
Oh.
I did.
Oh God, make some new ones. It's an excuse to do it.
Oh, I loved that one. Oh.
Look at these.
All right. I'll have
These
to make some new ones.
These are great, by the way. You know, the case of the Canadian flea. Look at all these now. Like, here's the one investigating. Like, they're stealing turtles. Here it is. Here's where they decided to off one of the turtles because it was a witness. I went to check out their place, and it's like, oh my God, what's all this? I still love this one. This is my favorite, though. Yeah.
I like the glowing mask.
There's so many. I mean, I like certain ones out of here, but out of those, I love the little angry flea, you know?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've made this has become my new toy while we're live streaming. It's so much.
I know. I can hear you clicking through the entire stream.
Yeah.
I'm actually crocheting my bouquet blanket. I'm very close to being done with it. I'm on the roses now, and it's gonna be epic.
You know, the other day, I got thinking about just how much stuff I do while we live stream. I was like, you know, the other day I was reading a transcript of another live stream. Like yesterday, you know, I was reading the transcript for them talking about what happened on the security stuff while we were going, you know. So fun all the times. Man, that live stream, by the way, was a gold mine. It was like sitting down.
Did you go through the transcript? I still haven't looked at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, even the stuff we covered. I mean, just off the stuff we covered, you know, they went in. They 100% definitively gave them access to cameras. John Cook was there in chat, like pushing them along. They talked about how they were their cameras, too. They definitively stated that. So, I mean, there's so much. And on top of that, you know, there was I've listened. So last night, there was a lot of deflection about the 19-year-old that called Jeremy Hales, I'm going to say the PDF file, you know, said it entire word very clearly, by the way. Now they have started talking about he didn't know any better. He doesn't understand the word, you know, and I thought, if he doesn't understand all of this, why would you bring him on that show?
Yeah, I don't know. And like now they're whining that, you know, the kid is autistic or whatever. And oh, Jeremy Hales is picking on an autistic kid. It's like, listen, don't put an autistic person that is vulnerable then into this mess. I heard Just J-Hip put it perfectly when he said, well, welcome to the shit show, Slofer. Like, you know, you're in it now. Like you guys know the rules to this game. Don't want none? Don't start none.
Yeah, somebody's supposed to come in, they call you like horrible stuff. Then, you're listening to him, you're like, wow, that person sounds, well, stupid. So you say, and then they're like, no, it's not that. He actually has this issue. And it's like, why would you, again, what it proved to me though, ultimately, is they were bringing people in, and first of all, he obviously knows what that word means. They're trying to say he doesn't understand he very well understood
he
what that
understood
word
what
meant.
it meant.
Oh yeah, he very well. But on
And
top
if there's someone who is that, I don't know, incapacitated, you shouldn't be putting them on a live stream and subjecting them to this kind of thing anyway.
No, well, they shouldn't have had him. That was the whole thing, period. I was like, you brought them on, you allowed them to denigrate, and you allowed them to do that. Again, you put them in there, but you messaged them, and you saw live with that person what thousands and thousands of other people have taken from the message that they meant them to. That's exactly what they want. When they're like, oh, a person's doing this, recording a little girl and doing this and doing that. That's the message they want. When they take a comic book and they stick like a character that's supposed to be them, creeping out in the forest, and there's a little girl, that's exactly the message they're sending.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody picks up on it, they're like, no. I'm sorry, but no deniability with that, man. Amazing.
Yeah, it would be just like if, look, I know the rules of this game. People wonder why, I protect my kids and I don't let my children be a part of any of this. That's why. Because if you put them in the arena, they're in it.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't do that, because it's not up to us. We're not going to be like, oh, well, because this person is allegedly has some kind of issue that we're going to allow them to say terrible things. No, come on.
I don't seem to remember them leaving our kids out of things. I don't seem to recall that at all.
No, they haven't.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
though
So
our
I think
children
that,
don't have anything to do with it, they still keep on keeping on.
oh yeah, very much so. I mean, geez. I'm surprised. Some days I'm surprised Ray hasn't written me and been like, okay, can I get an 8x10 glossy? I'm like, no, you freak, get away. I mean, yeah. Speaking of weirdos, did you check out that wonderful? Did you like that? Did you like
what?
Did you like the way I was moving from one point to the other right there? Did you like that transition?
Oh, that's a very yes. Speaking of weirdos, it's a good one. It's beautiful.
Yeah. By the way, John Cook today, he was in. Okay, so the stuff we're going to talk about is pretty hilarious. Last night I was like, what am I going to, I've been trying to think ahead. And I thought last night I was like, what am I going to talk about, tomorrow? Like there's a bunch of stuff that's been skipped, things we could go back to. And it's like, I wonder what I want to cover. And then in the middle of the night last night, like a miracle, we had one of the dumbest filings fall from the sky from John Cook. It looks like Johnny Boy may have, now again, we can't speak to this for sure, but it looks like Johnny Boy may have filed this into the wrong case, first of all. But
yeah,
on top of it, it's again, it's very inappropriate. Now, John was over in Ray Bone Crusher's chat laughing and bragging like, did you see what I did? Did you see? He was like, he
was all excited about it.
Yeah. It's like, can I go see the rabbits, George? He goes like, come on. Come on, Lenny.
Come on, Lenny.
I mean, really. And what was really funny about it, when he was sitting over there, trying to stoke all these people up, and they're like celebrating, this is what's already happened to it. So when we go through, the judge already wrecked their entire plan right off the bat. It was like, nah, that stuff's out of here, baby. So when we go over this letter, remember this, I want you to realize the punchline is hilarious because it meant nothing. And what it really shows you is desperation these days. They pulled out all the stops. They've been trying to turn this narrative around because it's imploded on them. And just wait. By the way, let me just say this is going to be a little vague, but Lisa. Oh my God. Something very funny is going on, Lisa. And
yes. Something very funny.
All caught up in it. Are you going to do damage control before it comes out? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering that myself.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Are you gonna? I'm gonna give you the chance to do damage control. I'll let you do damage control before any of it comes up. Oh, folks, you want to keep your eyes on this prize because this was gonna be funny. Speaking of which, I got a question yesterday, and somebody was like, "Man, what's this bombshell that you and Jeremy Hales have?" And I was like, No, we have our own
separate
nuclear
ones.
bombs.
Yeah. Yes, there are separate ones. I feel left out. I don't have one yet.
I don't know.
It's all my own.
This one kind of, even though I'm holding on to the one, this one's kind of yours too. Because it's a
kinda.
It's definitely
only peripherally.
Well, it's definitely our get out of any lawsuit.
That's true. That's true.
Very much so.
That's also true.
We keep teasing it. Don't worry, folks. It will be worth it. You will be like,
yes.
Holy crap, Tug has delivered the best baby ever, for sure. It will be. You will be like, oh my God,
we're just
what'll be really funny
finding out a lot about the ecosystem. We're finding out just a lot about them, and
we are.
They're all similar really in a lot of ways.
Oh God, yeah. Actually, what'll be real funny? Well, what I've learned over the last few months is how much they all hate each other.
Yeah. They're all barely tolerating one another, and they have their, they all just despise one another.
Really
They're only putting up with each other because they think it will harm Jeremy Hales, and it's just funny to watch.
It is, especially as the as the cheddar has gotten a little bit leaner, let's say, for them. They don't have the $100,000 grifto anymore. You have that contingency is not looking like it's going to pay off like it was, in their minds. I think a lot of them are not seeing the value in each other. They weren't friends.
Well, I really saw the breakdown start to happen when Bruce and Lips were on together.
Oh, yeah.
And Lips tried to give him some legal advice that he thought was stupid, and he basically said so and just treated her like garbage.
he really did.
That was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah,
so
you could
funny.
tell he did not like her. I was like, whoa, and
well, he hates women in general anyway, but having a woman tell him legal stuff he cannot abide. He cannot handle.
You're wrong. That's what it was. It wasn't just legal. It was, hey man, you're wrong with this. And, oh my God. That was kind of a great stream.
It was a great stream. That was the best. That was the one where he freaked out and left because of only me in the chat. That was so funny.
You notice a lot of them have not been back since then together.
Yeah, there was a real rift. We saw it happen. We watched it happen. And Bruce got all butthurt that they're laughing at us. And then
like I said, Bruce, no matter what I think about Bruce, again, I very much do think they owe him. They very much do. He built their ecosystem up. Now, Lisa took everything and, streamlined it into just a It's quite amazing to watch just the gaslighting and the lying and how well they've made it work, because I mean
Yeah.
they'll just flagrantly lie about things and tell you in the same stream something happened and then it didn't happen, or they'll just change it. I mean, in the middle and just not even they don't even care. And they got people singing cult songs, for fuck's sake. I mean, for real. I call them that, when I talk about that, folks, I mean that too. Those things are some of the cultiest things I've ever heard. Lacey, our protector with your
So
massive heart.
Very massive.
You gotta love those massive heart chambers. But anyway, I don't remember how I got on this tangent. But out of all of that, we end up with some of the dumbest finds. Now, I sometimes wonder, like these are very much Bruce words that we're going to see. There's a lot of it. Now, I mean, when you look at it, we've seen what John Cook files on his own. We saw that before, and it was really funny. And these are more like Bruce words, again, repeated by John Cook, thrown out here. And John Cook probably thought he was the brightest bulb ever throwing this stuff out. So the order, though, again, that comes down on this before we get on to it is Defendant Cook files a request for the court to report Mr. Shockett's subordination of perjury. That's crazy, by the way. What a thing. This case is currently stayed. So you see what case it lands in. Again, I'm thinking that this, we were talking about this. In fact, this was probably meant for another case, and he filed it into the wrong case.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. I can't figure out which case he's trying to put this into.
I mean, this thing is grossly inappropriate no matter what case it lands in, but
True.
It landing in a stayed case where nothing can move, that's just like a cell phone as well,
True.
And I think, it's yet more, as they keep adding stuff like this, hoping for disruption in the case, I believe it gives you more appealable grounds as well.
Oh, yeah. Especially if the judge doesn't put a stop to it, which in this case, he did. He struck it.
But he
from
hasn't. He's still allowed them to make a clown show out of so many other things.
Yeah, I wonder why he had, for a judge who has been very free about what he thinks about things. And certainly by, he has insulted Randy on the record multiple times. Why is it that he doesn't make any... Why does he not make any statements about this kind of crap? Clogging up his docket.
Oh, well, he definitely he definitely makes it look like some one-sided shout-outs when it comes to any type of negativity. Otherwise, it's just even the grossly inappropriate statements made by paint chips as quote unquote the father.
Yeah, he didn't have anything to say about that. No order to show cause for what, no, watch your mouth in my courtroom or open your wallet. You're going to need it. None of that about any of that.
When he does it twice, I mean, basically it's like, if you do it a third time,
Yeah, he didn't even say anything about that. He just let that go, which was, frankly,
they had the other judge. Remember the first time he did it, it was nothing at all. Second time, it was other judge, and I mean, it's just ridiculous. Hey, can you hold this for 1 second? I hear somebody yelling at me. I got to check. The little one today, she, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll be right.
All right. Whose birthday is it? Fave's? Is it Fave's birthday? What did I just see in the chat? I have my favorites. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday. That's great. I hope you had a good one. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing today? Heather May says, that was not to me. That was to somebody else. Never mind. It's my unbirthday in May. My birthday is in May, guys. Oh, it's your unbirthday. So it's not your birthday today. It's your unbirthday. What is that? Like the half year What's an unbirthday? I don't even know what that is. Didn't we learn that on Sesame Street? What's an unbirthday? I don't know what that means. Anyway, I've been working on this blanket for a while. It's almost finished, and it really is very pretty. I'm going to have to take some new pictures and put it up on Twitter or something.
So the little one today, she, you know, how little kids like to try to, if you're not watching them all the time, they're like, yep, here's the time to jump on the bed, you know?
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
then we are
so-
going to the urgent care for stitches. Yep, I'm well aware.
So she decided to, well, she's had to do that one time, but
yeah.
she decided today, hey, great time to sneak that in there, and got bouncing too much and took a spill. And she came down and, you know, she had a pretty good little bruise on her side and everything. Now, I told her she was all upset. You know, when I looked at her, I was like, well, that looks like I've had them all over me. But she was like, yeah, but you're a boy, Dad. You know. I'm supposed to have them all over me, I guess, because you're a boy, Dad.
You know, I tell Hangry, I always tell him all the time when he hurts himself, I go, well, chicks dig scars. And I must have said that a lot of times, like when he was little, because I don't know, maybe when he was 4 or something, he kind of stopped crying when he would fall down, you know, and he just kind of brush himself off. And I'd be like, hey, you okay? And he'd go, yeah, chicks dig scars.
That's funny.
He still says it. I know.
I'm telling the little one, like the oldest, you know, if something happens with her, like it becomes, you know, we all know about it. Let's just say with the little one, you know, she scares
tough,
herself.
huh?
Yeah. But you know how kids are, they'll scare themselves and they'll cry because it scared them. But afterwards, she's just like, all right, I'm good. You know? Hey, check it out. Here's another thinking. I like that it put a lightning in it and everything.
That almost scared me. It was pretty loud.
Yeah.
That was scary, Tug.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Your calm has been stricken, much like this order. Oh my God.
Much like John Cook's filings.
Oh my God. His filings.
It is funny though. We're gonna read it, I hope, because it's funny.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. You better believe it.
It's
When I
so
saw this come up,
whiny. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Well, it's
the
so
whiniest. Yeah, it is inappropriate, but also
all this
super
stuff is.
whiny.
But this stuff should be shut down. Like when this stuff is coming in, it shouldn't just be like, let's strike it. The judge should be telling them, hey, you know, this stuff is inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. This is not proper.
Yeah, I mean,
this is not what you file. You are oh God, I can't even see. This is why this entire motion, it is the definition of pro se what?
Exactly. It very much is.
And this is why we love pro se litigants on one hand, but the decent person inside of me is like, God, man, get a lawyer. Don't embarrass yourself like this in a court of law. And, you know, you complain that people on YouTube are reading all the motions and turning it into content. Well, you're the idiot who keeps filing this garbage.
You know,
this is the most entertaining stuff in the court system.
They wanted us to read these things at first. Now they don't. Now they're laughing at us, you know?
Right.
Like, well, I wonder why. By the way, Jay said that he doesn't have a bombshell. I read your letter to Paint
I thought that was pretty bombshelly.
Yeah, I do too. Let me see if
It made Paint Chips go on an all-out rampage, and he thinks you're a turncoat again, and he thinks you've turned on Jeremy Hales. You're taking down his empire, I guess. It's great.
I'm gonna
Absolutely great.
Yeah, Paige is posting messages about it and everything else, like having this little fit. Jay's writing me again.
It's funny how he gets all upset about that when he's the one who's harassing people in their inboxes, constantly copying me when he knows I don't want to be copied. I don't want to be contacted by him. He's been told by the sheriff to stop contacting me. Like he's got a lot of nerve, getting all, up in arms about getting an email from Jay.
He's mad because ultimately Jay doesn't mind sending emails, and it's just like, again, they get kind of mad. They want people to take it negatively. Like for myself, I laughed at it enough. I noticed they don't include me in all this stuff all the time anymore. It's kind of funny, but I've got the little clip of Just Jay's letter there. Let's talk about that real fast before we read this thing, because I thought this was really funny. So, like I said, they were throwing a fit because Just Jay's trying to bring down the empire and something. I'm not really sure.
That's his specialty. He crumbles empires. Didn't you know? He uses his pear-headed abilities to bring down entire YouTube empires. He's starting a new company and everything. It's called the Empire. He's the emperor of bringing down.
Yeah, I like that.
Bringing down YouTube empires.
I'd like to see him with a little. I'd like to see him with a staff with a giant pear on the end of it. The emperor. Yeah.
Emperor.
Yeah.
Last night, by the way, he texted me during the show and he goes, "Your show has nothing about me tonight. I'm getting very bored." Not enough about me.
Well, look, maybe he'll be more entertained now.
He'll be more entertained tonight, but he's not even here. Like he's not here to enjoy our pear joke.
He just super chatted. I saw him. That's what I'm saying. That's what made me think of him.
Oh my God, Jay, did you block me? I didn't see you.
Oh.
I didn't see him.
Hope. I mean,
oh
what?
My God, am I blocked? Oh no, there he is. There's his little pear-headed face.
Oh, that would be really funny. I'd love to
that
drum
would be
up
funny.
that one.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. He's like, welcome to the dork side.
The dorks.
It's amazing. I love that he wrote him. I mean, again, they were having a little fit about it. And it was like, "Good morning, paint chips. While since I've heard from you, how's the trial by combat going?"
How is that going, by the way? Wasn't there supposed to be a trial by combat?
Yeah. Wasn't he supposed
has
to put
the
in a motion
arena
about
been
that?
Has the arena been picked? Do we have dates and a Vegas? Are we doing it in Vegas? That's my only request.
Remember, I mean, he's done this forever though. He's talked smack to people, litigants forever about how he's going to combat them. Finally, he has somebody that's like, all right, let's do it then. Yeah.
And where is he? Why don't you take him up on it? Jeremy Hales said he would fight you to the death. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
like,
let's rent
he was
a
talking about
boxing
that
ring
in
in Vegas.
in a chat, and he was like, "Oh, well, if I was there, I'd have to bring a pew pew." That's what he was saying, because he's a lot of talk, a lot of bluster. He's gonna get his outlaw bikers. I'm sure they.
I say that. We choose fists. That's it.
I thought that's fists. It's supposed to be, again, the whole idea that he is shopped. It's supposed to be Game of Thrones style. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been saying that forever. So
he got written up in the New York Post about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. that was
but finally he's got somebody who wants to do it, and he's like, what? We're not doing it? Like, we're not. What happened, Paint Chips? Where's the trial by combat? That's what everybody's waiting for. Jeremy Hales said yes. Let's go, MFer. Come on.
I'm ready to see it personally.
Me too.
So is Jay. Jay's impatient enough to actually write about it here. He said, "I hope you do that soon, as I'm anxious to see it. will it be on pay-per-view? Or live stream for free?
Oh my God, they can make a fortune on pay-per-view to see that. I would pay big, huge money to see this fight in Vegas. I would be there in person. Oh, and Jay could be a ring girl. It would be fantastic. He could go in there with the signs for the rounds, you know, in his little horse costume.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to show you this freaking image after this. You're gonna love this one. This one came out real good, for real, like no joke about it. So he says, I hope all is going well. And trust me, I don't want to see a kimono dragon.
Oh no, the chat's right. It should be pay-per-view.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, I mean, if he's hosting it for sure, yes.
Pay-per-view.
Yep. If he's hosting
the kimono dragon.
He doesn't want to see. Oh my God. What's funny though is when he writes this, that they cry about it. They're like, he's harassing us. I mean, Jay, the guy they've written to hundreds of times now, he's supposedly harassing them for calling out the fact. He's like, hey, so when is that fight you've been promising? You know? Damn. It's like, have fun. Gotta go now. Say hi to Bruce for me. All the best, just Jay Hip.
Oh God, is that funny? And then the hilarious thing is that Paint Chips turns around and posts it like, Jay's a traitor. He's a traitor.
Yeah.
Like, what about this says to you that he's changing sides? What is it?
Most people in life, you know, it's not a side thing. It's like, you know, I'm not going to align myself with these people. I've seen what they do, you know, I've seen who they are, and I don't have to pick sides. I definitely know that those people, man, I can just tell from everything that they've done in the past. They're probably not on the side of right. They're definitely not righteous. Look at this. This is so good. Look at this. Look, looks happy and everything. Look at that. It's good. They're attacking my drink for some reason. Look, dang squirrel.
That's that mean mugging squirrel.
I know. That's a good one though. They look happy and everything. Look at that. Oh, all right. Let's pull up this other document. I love that J one though. And again, yeah. So Paint Chips has been, I mean, actively crying about Just Jay though. Actively. He's like, he's so mean to me. Either that or he's switching sides. He's a traitor. He's going to burn Jeremy Hales down.
So stupid.
Well, it's so funny because, you know, they're desperate to be able to claim there's a mole or there's this or there's that. Meanwhile, again, you know, they've had a lot of problems on their side with people just actively. I mean, they don't even hide the hate like we were talking about, you know. True. Ultimately, that says, like, when the going gets tough, they will sell each other out. I think there's been a few fall guys that they planned on, like Leslie. They figured if they put Leslie out there, that she would be a perfect fall guy. You know, Lynette.
Yeah, I think it's pretty terrible, actually. Because I think anybody with a working frontal lobe can see that Leslie struggles with problems. And they chose this person and they put her into this and they increased all the stress on her and the spotlight on her. And I think they did that knowing that the breakdown was inevitable.
Well, and they encourage, like I heard them the other night and they were encouraging her, despite the fact that when you look at her posting, you can tell like she hasn't slept. She's stayed up, you know, days of it. Again, 3 days. We have over 100 videos land. The only thing that stopped that flow was she got struck because they were getting more and more insane, more and more outlandish. And they're like, yeah, all of that. That's 100% true. But they're wanting to land Leslie into more hot water. You know, They just don't care. She's a good little great. See, the other thing I don't think Leslie understands is what return on your investment do you get, Leslie? Because Lisa gets money off of you every time. Every time you have a freak out. In fact, they made more money off of the harassment where people could actually get in trouble, like her and with Lynette over the last few days. They have made more money than they've made in a long time. And it comes at the expense of the people they supposedly are friends with, or they're supposedly, on the side of. It's wild. It is.
Yeah,
wild,
and they're encouraging her to make videos that are life destroying. They're encouraging her to continue this path that she's going down, which there will be no coming back from. And they're encouraging that.
When you say life destroying, it's attempted on the person you make them about, but really it's life destructive.
Oh yeah,
for her.
it's not going to destroy my life. But it's going to destroy hers, and they know that, and they continue to push her to do it. And I think that it's really
they're
sick
not making
and wrong.
them. Ultimately, it's just
Yeah,
like
they're not the ones who are going to be held accountable for it. Yeah, she will.
That's why, with the third-party violations and stuff, like Lynette Preston. These people have been, now Lynette has not been popping up everywhere, but you know who has? John Cook. Like that, like we said the other night, with that stream, while they're showing off all these pictures and they're doing all of this and they're talking about violations, they're discussing it. You have John Cook sitting in the chat talking about it too, talking about the protective order. And he just hammers it in. They actively brought up him being there, which is amazing. And then we get this. It also looks coordinated. Everything that's been happening. You notice there's just this onslaught of stuff lately. Like it's just insane. Every one of them at the same time. They're just like chirp, 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 chirp.
It's all popping off.
I wonder, some of them, I don't know how far certain ones are into the conspiracy. Like, basically, I wonder, some of them are manipulated, I'm sure, and pushed to do stuff. And other ones are at the same time actively probably told, hey, push this while this is going on,
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea
We
how
couldn't
they're
know.
doing
I
it.
mean,
We couldn't know, but I do know that it sure looks bad.
Well, it looks coordinated is what it very much looks coordinated. And again, the coordination may not necessarily mean they're all sitting down and talking to one another about it. It may mean that, oh, well, while this one's having a mental fucking breakdown over here, about X, Y, or Z, let's do this thing. They're definitely not helping, though. That's the ugliest part of it. So let's read this wonderful thing, though. This is, again, John Cook filing, and it gets knocked out of the park right off go. So this is the wonderful request going after Mr. Shochet.
As Gwyneth Paltrow would say on Speechify, Mr. Shochet.
I love that. Shochet.
Shochet.
Yeah,
She just cannot say shock it.
I love it. I was like, Shochet. That's an interesting one.
I know, it's great.
John Cook, pro se, respectfully requests that the Honorable Court report Attorney Randall Shochet's subordination to perjury in this case to the Florida Bar for investigation. Like this right here, this garbage would be out the window right off.
Yeah. First of all, the bar in every state will not investigate any issues in an ongoing case. Will not. And what's amazing to me is that Bruce Matskin allegedly wrote this. That's what John says in the beginning of this thing, that Bruce wrote it. Bruce ought to know this. In fact, I know that he knows this. So all he's doing when he files a bar complaint in the middle of a case against him, he knows he's just harassing the bar and harassing his opposing counsel. He knows this. He knows they're going to throw it out. And it to me, it's wild that an attorney would continue to behave like this.
Well, they just don't care. I feel like sometimes I don't know, that there's a screw loose or something, you know? I mean, it
Well,
does not.
he's obsessed with the bar association. He believes that the bar associations are all corrupt and run by corrupt people who are more successful than him. That's really the problem, that they're more successful than him, and he hates anyone who's more successful than him. He's
It's
very,
just
very jealous.
bizarre to see, though. You know, again, I very much doubt that John was just on, picked today or yesterday of all days. You know, this was a day too when people started. You think about it. Think about the background to it. You have the onslaught, of course, but you also have a need for deflection. They needed some, because we were all talking about something that is very important. There were actually two things that came up in there. Number one, we have all of those PO violations, very, very flagrant ones. But you also have somebody going on a stream and calling Jeremy Hales a PDF file. Proof that the messaging is what it is. So
yeah, their messaging is working because now even people who are just peripherally involved or know them all have this opinion of Jeremy Hales. Well, congratulations. You just proved Jeremy Hales is right.
Indeed. And they've got to be like, oh, wait a minute. That's not good for us.
That's why they were bad. That's why they were like, whoa. No. Yeah, but it's like, what do you expect? You're the people who pushed this narrative. You're the ones who said all of these terrible things.
They were also like, well, he's got needs. He's special needs. I was like, first of all, why?
Well, then don't put him online.
Right. Why would you put him on there and tell him all of this stuff is going on? He either is part of it or he isn't. But they didn't, it wasn't like he wandered into the room, whoopsie, and hey, I got to go away. All right. That'd be one thing.
Right.
He was on the panel,
Yeah, it's not like they were doing a Christmas show and talking about their favorite presents.
Right.
This was the entire thing was about Jeremy Hales. So you don't invite your, I don't know, mentally slow grandkid on that show or whatever it is. I don't know what they're saying.
They said, I should have clarified. They said autism is what it is. Autism becomes the catch-all for
that's again, you can have autism and still understand what words mean.
Well, he definitely did, and understand. They're confusing not understanding social cues with not understanding words. And that's social cues in there. I think he very much caught the social cues. He just didn't know, if anything, in there. He didn't know. He's supposed to be playing this little game where they say all these terrible things, but they didn't tell him the one word he's not allowed to say. He can dance that word and say all these terrible things. And they've said, some pretty horrible things with that before. Some of them have actually come out and said it.
In the same stream, though, as they're explaining to him that that's not what's going on, Fleesa then lies and says Jeremy's trying to take pictures of that little girl.
Yeah, that's
a lie.
Well, that's where the social cue comes from. Absolutely, you're right, 100%.
So she reinforces the thing that Topher said. She reinforced it by saying, but he is trying to take pictures of her. Well, on what earthly reason would a grown man have to take pictures of a little girl that is not related to him over somebody's fence? We all know what that means. And by the way, of course, also, that's not what he's doing. He's not trying to take pictures of her. Darn well, Fleesa, that he's taking videos of his neighbors when he goes by to ensure they're not breaking the PO. And that's it. It has nothing to do with the kid.
I mean, they needed some kind of win. And what's really weird is they've tried to turn that into a victim narrative, being like, he's actually the victim. So person comes on, again, not a kid, 19-year-old comes on. So we're talking adult here. They go on, they are a panelist. They come out, they call somebody a PDF file during a stalking stream, because that's exactly what that was. They have him as an active participant in a stalking stream.
Stalking him and calling him a PDF file in the same stream. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but then they play, got to pretend that he's a victim somehow, I was like, are you kidding me? You know, how is he the victim in this stuff? And of course he's not. The answer is we all know he's not. It's just, it's all absurdity. So let's continue anyway. I got a little sidetracked on this. Again, for the 2 sentences that I covered before we're massively derailed.
Check the private chat real quick. I just remembered something and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but it would be funny.
I don't think so. Well, I don't
All right,
know.
I'll
Maybe
find out.
Ask
Yeah, I'll find out.
All right. Okay, so continuing here again, they're writing you have John Cook writing, but look at what he writes here. This is the most important. Where does it come from? He says, I made this request of my own volition. My prior counsel had already drafted a request to report Mr. Chauchet, but it was not filed during his representation, which is actually not true. They did file. You remember when John Cook dropped this early and you had an absolute freak out. Now, it wasn't this draft of it, but you remember when he talked about his big bombshell that he had that he was waiting for?
Who? John?
Bruce. Remember he said
Oh.
he had a draft of something where that was his we called it his Hail Mary. You know, when he dropped out, he wanted to stay on. He was saying, well, if the judge would let me, I want to stay on until at least I finish this.
Oh, yeah.
So he filed. This is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like they're discussing. This just, this is a different interpretation of it, I suppose. It sounds like another one that's written. So you have John say, I chose to file it at this time as a self-represented party and requested and received his approval to convert it into a request from myself. So he wrote it. He made it. I'm going to turn it in, and so you still have Bruce putting in filings.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh, well, this filing, it's from him, but it's old. It's old. And they put it in again on a paused case, Like I said, I think you can take this again if things do not go the way that in Fed 1, I think they'll go a specific way. I feel pretty good with the way things have gone. But if they don't, you can turn to all of this kind of stuff and be like, look how many times they've tried to poison the well, and look at the way the judge responds to things. He responded to the requests for this or that. Again, he went out of his way to try to get them representation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He offered court funds.
Which is
incredible. I've never heard of anything like that.
I never have either. I've never heard of a judge being like, well, we're going to do this for you.
And when I looked it up, it was like very rare. Like it doesn't happen often at all. And it's like, wow, what are these people? What shamrock came out of their ass that they just get this special treatment no matter what?
It's just absolutely amazing. It's amazing considering the fact that, again, this judge, he's supposed to be. He had a guy tell him, basically, screw you. I'm not going to show up for your your disciplinary stuff, and he's taking it out on the guy that actually had the stones.
Yeah, he let him get away with it. Totally
weird,
let him get away with it. It's totally weird, and I do not understand it.
So I chose to file this as a self-represented party, though. I like that. So this case was contrived by the plaintiff to create ongoing, fresh, court-related content for the plaintiff's YouTube channel. You can tell 100% Bruce through here. It is polyflop.
Oh, yeah. and even using that stupid acronym. Again, this is not a legal term. No judge is going to take. I don't know why I'm telling these people this. They're not listening. And even if they did listen, would it matter? I mean,
do they? I mean,
I'm sorry. I have to calm down. Every time I see that acronym in a filing, I get angry. Like my blood pressure rises.
I'm amazed by how dumb it is, and these people all think that they're so creative. Look, Ma, I created something. It's like, you sure did, you
Yeah, you
know.
sure did. You
I
created a
mean,
big mess.
yeah, you could.
A big mess that's laughable. I mean, one day, some lawyer somewhere is going to get a hold of this, and it's going to be hilarious because
Well, one day we're gonna be
he
sitting around talking to a lawyer about something, you know, on a stream. We're gonna be like, "Hey, have you ever seen that case where the dude tries to create his own term, polymop?"
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, "No, what was that?" And I'm like, "Oh my God,
Oh
let me
my
show you
God.
this
Yes.
treasure that we
I
have."
do feel like, I mean, this is one of the most unintentionally hilarious things I've ever seen happen in court. And there are always a lot of them. God, Jeff would have loved this. I think
Indeed.
about Jeff a lot. We're coming up on the anniversary of when he
Oh,
left
yeah.
us, and I think about Jeff a lot. He would have laughed at this polymop thing. God, I wish he was here to tell us what he really thinks, because
For real.
it would be good. Oh, by the way, that thing in the private chat. So yeah, we can.
Okay.
Which is
All right. Yeah,
interesting.
all
That's
right.
fun.
We'll bring it up in a minute then. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I like to make it
Yeah.
fun on there. So it's polyflop, protraction of litigation and multiplication of proceedings. It is much worse than the garden variety vexatious litigation. You know, because I made a term up, Ma. You know?
Yeah, it's much worse than just your old regular vexatious litigation, which frankly covers it, okay? If you're trying to say like that, you know, they're creating litigation, that is vexatious
Yeah.
litigation. That's what you're
There is a
supposed to be
term for
saying.
it.
There
There's a
already is a
legal term.
term. No one's gonna make fetch happen.
Oh, they wanted to, you know, they really, really want. You know, it's also it's too long. I mean, it's kind of like look what it took to make RICO work. You know, to actually have people utilize RICO, and when you look at it, you had to bring down some of the biggest mobsters in the freaking world to make that work out, and still, you know, and it had to have something behind it that. You know, again, it makes it better to say real. This it means nothing. I mean, again, it's just saying protraction of litigation, multiplication of stupid.
It's so dumb.
It is,
It's
but
just it makes me cringe every time I hear it.
it does. That is
Cringiest
the one thing. I think it does give me this involuntary.
Yeah. Ugh.
You know,
Like,
I've heard people
not
talking about
this again.
Well, I heard people talking about the ick lately a lot, you know?
Yeah, the ick.
Yeah, it gives me, I think, the version of the ick, you know? I feel
Yep.
like this secondhand embarrassment for them.
I really can't wait until I hope the judge at some point says, stop using this phrase. This is not a legal term. You cannot use it in this court. It has no meaning here. Please stop. But he hasn't done it yet, and I don't understand why.
Because this judge has been useless on getting any of that. Again, I'm a potted plant. I won't deal with any of this stuff in there. Wait, well, yeah, you will. You know,
I don't want to be known as the sanctioning judge. Like,
no, instead, you want to be known as the guy who lost control of his fucking courtroom to felons and
felons and yeah,
yeah,
great work, felons and harassers.
But it's worse than the garden variety vexatious litigation because the harassment of Preston and Cook isn't the end goal of the frivolous legal claims, nor is winning the claims on the merit. The end goal is money generated from the plaintiff's YouTube videos, the content for which comes from the ongoing litigation and every single proceeding along the way.
So this is so easily proven false, by the way. I was listening to Coop this morning, and he was going over Jeremy's views over the years. And he was showing the views on the old like coin pusher videos. And before all of this stuff happened, he was showing how Jeremy's views were easily over 100,000 views per video. And when all of this, and how he used to do all of this fun stuff and go on a bunch of trips, and then there was all this philanthropy, and all those videos did really, really well. And when all of this stuff started happening and he was tied up in court, all the fun videos pretty much stopped, and so did the philanthropy, because he's drawn so thin, and his videos now are having trouble getting to 50,000 views.
Well,
it has absolutely affected him negatively. This is so provably false. His number of views have not gone up.
Well, it's because on the other side of that, you still have fun, like opening up storage, but you have to limit all of the stuff that he can do with an audience outside. Because again, okay, this stuff with the videos is the perfect example of it. He announces that he's somewhere else, right? He, in fact, that could have been a test to see how well that works out, to see if he can be safe and he can actually do something for Christmas, because you can hear it on him. He wants to do something for Christmas. He wants to get out there, and it has been, it's been bad, because he's used to not just he's still doing giveaway stuff. They did a cash giveaway, they were talking about and everything, but they usually do something major.
They do. They used to do like all this massive toy giveaways and stuff. And it's been really sad that because he's being stalked, he has to be it costs him so much more money to go anywhere with people, right? If there's going to be a crowd there, he now has to pay armed security, which is not cheap, to be there just in case, because all of this has kicked off so much garbage. And I'm sorry, if you guys think, one of the problems with what's been going on is that when you have an ecosystem like what's built up around Jeremy Hales, geared towards streaming 5 hours a day about what a terrible person you are, you never know what weirdo out there who's on the verge of unhinging is going to come unhinged, show up at an event like that, and kill him.
Well, that's we saw a very primed example of that with Charlie Kirk. It's a terrible illustration of what can happen when you have enough people out there. Again, you don't have to, you can think anything you want about a person, like or dislike, but when people make statements like these people are the Antichrist, they're
when Leslie says things like, I support child SA, those are the types of things that set people off, that make people believe that some people, like maybe me, don't deserve to breathe anymore.
Yeah. It's a frightening world where this kind of stuff exists. And it's a frightening world. I mean, we see what kind of lunatics are out there anyway. And it's not just, you worry somewhat. Like I said, I don't worry about people like a paint chips, because that fat loser it's never put in the work himself, but the people he might actually motivate to do something terrible, that's where you start to worry about it,
and I feel the same way about all of these people. What they sit around and do, what they're trying to do, is motivate somebody to harm Jeremy Hales or one of us. I mean, it's clear that that's what they want. They're not hiding it. I mean, hell, John Cook talks about it openly. Talks about what he wants to happen.
Well, they talked about
Jeremy
getting
Hales.
somebody to do it behind the scenes. Maybe
one of my favorite things they put in writing, I think it was Lynette. One of my favorite things that she put in writing was that some of John's jail friends,
the tracker,
were going to do some work for them. They would put the tracker on Jeremy's car to find Hales headquarters, and then John's jail friends were going to do some work for them. Huh.
Yep. I mean, that's
I can't believe these people are not in jail yet, honestly.
Well, it just, that's the truest indictment of the system that if I've ever seen one, that people can absolutely go out and they can 100% undeniably threaten you. They can violate protective orders hundreds of times and then pretend that they're the victim,
Yeah, it's gross.
By the way, do you want to read from the Senate?
Sure.
Right.
A number of YouTube channels rely almost entirely for their content on this litigation. Well, that's because it's been going on for two fucking years.
He did put this in for sure for Fed 1. Then this was on purpose, because this and the Fed 2.
Okay. And the Fed 2 action by the plaintiff against 10 defendants.
Yes, by the way, if you enjoy this content, see, they are very butthurt because, as Lynette has said, they don't get any money off of it, because Lisa kept all their money. But, what they would really like you to do, what they're asking you to do right there, is to donate. And make sure when you do it, by the way, we're going to do it ecosystem style. We're totally going to do it for... the barn, but it'll never go to the barn, making that clear. It will never go to, just like
not
the
a dime.
ecosystem. That's right. This is a Christmas party for the barn that never goes there. So if you'd like to give to the barn that never becomes the barn, make sure, to throw that in there. But you see them mention money too all the time. So again, if you would like to help out, if you would like, especially in this time of the Christmas, it is well appreciated. But it's also very humorous to see they let it out all the time. This is why they are mad.
Yep, this is
like, where's
why.
my money? Remember when they came in with Jeremy, they were like, I need $65,000. They thought he would be a mark, easy mark.
Oh yeah. So on December 19th, 2024, the court itself heard live the plaintiff read his statement from one of his YouTube videos discussing this case. Now, I have a problem with this because I remember this being out of context. Wasn't this said about a different situation before he was even involved in this stuff?
I don't give a fuck.
I think it was.
Right here,
I think it was. I don't think this was even about this case, by the way. He went through his videos and found a quote that was about something totally different and used it. Wait, Twaddlebum says, yes, it was. Yes, it was what? Out of context or it was about this case? Because I don't think it was. I'm going to have to look up at the transcript again from that deposition. It was about the town. Okay. So yeah, it was way before any of these lawsuits, right? It was when he was in his fight with the village or the town or whatever, the town of Otter Creek.
I think it's ultimately what we're talking about with litigation too, like the way that they want to frame it. I'm supposed to say certain things about how I perceive justice. I perceive justice by breaking these people too. They think they're going to be incentivized to come after me and try to destroy my life. And I'm telling them that I will take a match and I will burn their whole fucking life down. And I'm very direct about it. You want to quote me? Yeah, make sure you splash it out there, mofo, because I will.
So Jeremy says, you are correct, Mega. Thank you for correcting your spelling of my name. No, but yeah, so I knew it. So they took it out of context.
We have a big bombshell. After this, we have something major to tell you too. Do we not, Mega? Yeah,
we do. We do.
We do, for real. Bombshell. Not, and they hate me saying that. So bombshell, but it is. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, this was about something totally different. So it doesn't apply to this case in any way. Okay, not at all. Jeremy was talking about something else going on with the town. But okay, let's read it. A lawsuit isn't... So he's lying, saying there were YouTube videos discussing this case. But it wasn't discussing this case. It was discussing the town way before these.
What's crap is they know that this stuff will be stricken, but they're hoping that it will be read too. They
wanted to bias the judge. That's what they're trying to do.
They have. I absolutely.
I do too.
I do.
I do too. I think that they have as well. A lawsuit isn't to win a lawsuit. It's to make you spend all your money on a lawyer and bankrupt you. That's what the win is. I could care less if I win in court. If I win in court situation, that's not a direct quote from Jeremy. He doesn't talk like that. If I win in court situation, my goal is to make sure you have no money. That's the goal of the lawsuit. This is an outright admission of abusing the courts for improper purposes. Well,
yeah, because
I'm actually not sure about that.
This case.
Yeah, and this wasn't about this case. But also, I'm not even sure that they're right about that, because as long as what you're doing, as long as you're suing someone, it's legal, you can have whatever reason you want. No one is asking you, no one is going to be asking you, why did you bring this lawsuit? And there are lots of people out there who will bring lawsuits just to financially cripple somebody. That's true.
They talked about their dream of what this lawsuit would be, with armies of lawyers, and again, their dream sounds much worse than what.
Yeah, what's funny is that when they talk about this lawsuit, they talk about destroying this man's YouTube empire, destroying his life, tearing it down. When Jeremy talks about this lawsuit, he admits from the beginning he's never going to see a dime. He knows that they're all broke. He's doing it to hold them accountable. He wants a judgment. He wants a judgment in his favor. He knows he's going to end up spending far more money than these losers have ever seen in a lifetime just to get a judgment.
Oh, yeah.
He knows he can't bleed. You can't get blood from a stone. It's stupid to think that he's going to, that this makes no sense. How do you bankrupt people?
Can't get a brain cell from a stone hunter.
You can't get broker than bankrupt. And they're already there. So whatever. Okay. Sorry. I will move on.
It's true, though. It's 100% true.
The court already threw out the plaintiff's extortion claims because it was a false label slapped onto courts to influence jurisdiction by creating the false appearance of claims for treble damages. No, that's not why it was thrown out.
That's a total lie.
That's a lie.
Right there as well.
That's a lie. In fact, that was Bruce's supposition, but that was knocked down by the judge. That jurisdiction thing, he lost that argument.
A major part, though, of the reason that we didn't have our extortion claim as portion of this was because the lawyer at the time, the one that is now no longer part of this, I might add, the judge felt it would be too much to have them added in. It would be too much of an inconvenience.
Right.
It was like, it'll waste too much of my time. By the way, here's 5 more months.
You've got 10 more defendants.
Delay.
Yeah.
God, what a mess.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So the reason the extortion claims failed wasn't because of this jurisdiction. The extortion claims were thrown out because the judge didn't find sufficient enough evidence, period. It didn't have anything to do with false appearance for claims of treble damages. Shut up, Bruce. You're just putting your own shit in here. Like the judge isn't going to remember why he did what he did. The court also said it did not think the plaintiff could support tortious interference claims. And the plaintiff has in fact produced no evidence of any actionable interference by Preston or Cook. See, they don't have to produce all their evidence right now. They don't. This is not the evidence part of the case. They simply have to prove that there's a reasonable belief that they have it. And later it will come out in discovery. They don't have to prove every claim right now.
Right. Well, defamation to be honest, though, is remember the whole discovery process, the one that they refused to participate
one that they never participated in, the discovery they never turned over. Yes, I recall that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When they had the chance to give their evidence and then nothing was given over.
Yeah, they keep saying. I mean, well, it reminds me again of other cases that I've covered where people say that they have, just volumes and volumes of evidence, and they don't turn over these volumes and volumes of evidence because they don't exist.
Yeah. It's crazy. She never turns over the evidence she claims she has. The defamation claims in the complaint were initially based on some handwritten cardboard on sticks signs. Who describes a sign like that? Cardboard on sticks.
Does it matter how they were written? Does it matter? I mean, if I would have taken them out and I would have had them laid out fashionably, when I'm calling someone a PDF file. Actually, I might say that even more damaging when you have something that looks like it was created by someone that lives there.
Well, also, aren't political signs like the professionally done ones cardboard on sticks?
That's true, actually.
It's literally what signs are, cardboard on sticks. Yeah. It's just unnecessary to describe them. Cardboard on stick signs stuck in the grass that only 3 people ever saw. He can't prove that. You don't know how many people saw those. They were out there for, you're claiming 45 minutes. Let's say they were out there for 45 minutes. How many people drove by those signs in 45 minutes on a well-traveled, busiest highway that there is?
You notice he didn't say alleged. The complaint were initially based on some alleged. You know, it's not there. He says which the plaintiff alleges were. The way this reads is that the signs exist. We just deny that she wrote them.
Yep.
That's kind of strange.
Well, it's hard to deny the signs exist when Jeremy has them and brings them to court
indeed.
with him.
But you know, it's fascinating just to see. Well, they played that at first like they weren't even real. You know. They were like, oh, these are all a conspiracy theory. Then when we get to court, it's like, well, yeah, actually, we can't feed this, so we've got to shift the narrative again. You know, we have to shift and let's have a handwriting expert. Now they do exist. I remember for months they were fake signs. They didn't exist, and then they became very real. It was just so weird because I mean, they again, that was that denial of reality thing that happened for the longest time.
There's a lot of that going on in this case, a lot of denial of reality. So there were signs was stuck in the grass only 3 people saw, which the plaintiff alleges were written by Michelle Preston. Faced with 12B1 motion challenging federal jurisdiction for not meeting the amount in controversy threshold under 28 U.S.C., the plaintiff filed an affidavit with the following allegation in paragraph 19 that wasn't in the complaint. Mr. Cook's and Miss Preston's online posts calling me a child predator are constant and ongoing to this day. This was perjury. How is this perjury?
We have plenty of statements that, again, that they want to play a game and they want to pretend that, oh, I've got to have them specifically say the words.
Yeah, but we have that. We've shown it. I won the $2,000 reward and he wouldn't pay up. We literally have it.
You know, we needed that for Christmas too, you monster.
These people are such, what frauds.
More
pertinent to this request, it was perjury suborned by Mr. Shockett. It is intended by the plaintiff and Mr. Chauchet. The court explicitly relied on this perjury in denying the 12B1 motion. The paragraph 19 allegation could have easily been vetted by Mr. Shockett before filing it as evidence with opposition to a motion to dismiss if this statement were true. Online post calling the plaintiff a
child predator would be documented.
It is documented.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. It's been documented multiple times at that.
And then now we've got somebody calling him that on a live stream just the other night.
That's why they know it's a mess up, because they've been trying to adjust the game plan and say everything but that. Like a jury wouldn't sit down, by the way, and hear you talking about photographing little girls and this and that and be like, oh, well, that's what they mean with that. Okay, but they come out again. They had what a jury would do. They got the perfect litmus test for what they're doing. They had somebody out there that knew nothing about it really. They thrust them into this, and message received.
Yeah, he busts out with, "Oh, he's a PDF file." Yeah,
I was amazed, like when I heard that. You know, I was amazed by the whole. Well, he doesn't know right from wrong, basically. You know, that's their argument. You know, autism apparently means you don't understand.
Yeah, Laura Owens tried that too. Guess what? She's still facing 14 felonies.
It's so insulting to people.
Brian Koberger tried that too. He's still in jail for the rest of his life. You cannot use autism as an excuse to behave badly. Period.
Well, it's terrible. It also reflects very poorly on people that have these things, you know, that are working and doing a good job, by the way. You know, many people, you know, maneuver through life and They do a fabulous job.
That's right.
But these people, I mean, they basically they make them look like the stereotypes of people that had mental issues, mental illnesses, or needs, whatever. They do. They sound like that. But then again, what would you expect from the poppy seed muffin crew?
Yeah. And
Mr.
cocaine
Shea, though.
it's a downer from what I hear. It's a what do you call it? An opiate, apparently.
You know, I'm proud though, because I never thought I would hear something that dumb, but they proved me wrong.
Well, it's the new kind of we haven't been around in the party scene for a while, Tug. Maybe this is a new kind of cocaine we've never heard of.
Well, maybe.
Cocaine that puts you on the couch and puts you to sleep.
No,
I don't know.
Synthetic poppy seeds. That's what it was. Yeah. You know, those kind. They probably got the fentanyl of it. You know, that's what it is. You don't know what the fent does. You know, the synthetic poppy seeds. When you check them out, they come back as cocaine. Oh my God, these people, man! I can't even keep up. So, you know, one of the reasons I have to keep up with this case like this is because I can't keep up with the madness otherwise, and the shifting narratives if I don't watch it every day. So Mr. Shochet had an ethical duty to require his client to produce the alleged online posts or to identify them in some fashion to enable Mr. Shochet to confirm their existence and produce them in response to discovery requests. That's really funny. You're talking discovery requests, by the way. Isn't that interesting? Huh. The plaintiff failed to identify any such online posts, calling him a child predator in his remote deposition on December 2nd, 2024. He failed to identify any during his live deposition on December 19th, 2024. Yeah, he told you quite a bit there. I think it's funny that when we're looking back, Bruce is sitting on the sidelines and he is having to rely. Oh, by the way, oh, shit. You know, they talked about bounties, by the way. They've been crying a lot about bounties. Isn't that a bounty? Isn't Bruce Manskin saying that he puts $2,000 on anything?
Yeah, and then he didn't pay it. What do you call that? When somebody offers a reward and then doesn't pay it.
But isn't that a bounty? I mean, you know, when they've talked about money, it's all improper. But
apparently not. You know. He can do it. It's good for they're the kings and queens of they can do it, but no one else can.
Well, I'll never forget, by the way, like the zeal that Bruce paint chips and Lips took in going after Shizzy and his family. You know, when they talk about anything else, I will never forget the way that they acted about it. How I've seen doxers. I mean, I've seen nasty, abhorrent behavior online, and that stuff coming from a lawyer actively involved in a case, threatening to sue somebody. By the way, he's threatening to sue, and they dox them for kicks to a felon. Huh. Fun times, right? But anyway, so he failed to produce any in response to written discovery. To date, there have been no online posts calling the plaintiff child predator identified or produced by the plaintiff. Attorney Bruce Manskin, prior counsel for President Cook. What's funny is he's talking about himself here.
Yeah.
Because this is written by him. So, me, before I quit, because I'm prior counsel, but I was afraid you put me in jail, Your Honor.
Yeah, but I'm a big fat baby. I'm a big fat crybaby.
I'm so mad. I will sue, by the way, for saying what I actually said in my own filing I was afraid of. Okay, that's weird.
Show up in court. I'll sue you, but I won't show up.
It's so weird, man. I can't even believe that. Anyway, I'm going to get way off in the weeds if I start talking about that. Priorly announced a $2,000 reward to anyone who could produce any online post. Nice. Preston or Cook calling the plaintiff a child predator. Yes, that is 100%. There's actually
I posted it on Facebook. So I'm going to go find it because I know that I won this $2,000 and he never paid up.
The point also is hammering those terms. They hammer them over and over and over again, associating his name with those words, you know?
Uh-huh.
They do. I mean, like I said, there's a reason for all this stuff. This
Oh, yeah.
offer was reposted in numerous Facebook groups. It was the subject of YouTube live streams viewed by hundreds of thousands. Where do you get those numbers of fans of the plaintiff? Where did the hundreds of thousands of views, come from?
Yeah, I don't know.
They keep talking about how his channel's dead, and he's we've all going downhill and stuff. But then we all, when they want to make a point like that, we all suddenly have hundreds of thousands of views on everything. I wish they'd make up their mind. Which is it?
Yep.
By the way, although it is interesting, they do admit, like Miltoast has been the perfect weapon too, in talking about damages, because he keeps talking about how channels, like Hales or anybody that talks about, positively about him, how their numbers, they're on the decline. Well, we've seen a 2-year exhaustive effort by idiots. Oh, by the way, so I watched So You Don't Have To, did a flashback breakdown right a year ago. It was like 1 year anniversary. And it's interesting because when you flash back to that, talking about 2L and them, guess who is going on 2L show to talk that smack? None other than Miltoast. So,
of course.
Yeah, the guy who's like, oh, I've been harassed into hiding. It's like, oh, okay. So it was.
I love how he says stuff like, I never wanted anything to do with this, you liar.
He wanted
Yes,
plenty to do. He told, again, we got that one screenshot where he tells that Huggy Bear, you need to start covering this stuff. And that Huggy Bear is like, again, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, yeah, I don't think I want to get into all of that because you can get yourself sued. That's essentially what he's telling Miltoast. And well, look at what happened. Look at how that turned out. But he was telling him straight up for that. So nobody produced any posts. Preston or Cook as alleged by the plaintiff. And again, Doc 8-1, paragraph 19. Actually, we produced a series of them, a series of posts talking about Cook and Preston and their statements about Jeremy Hales. So they're just like, no, those don't count. I like how they play that game too. Well, those don't actually count, They only count when I say they count. Now, if you were to say that about the active test is to take the name that they allege it and imagine their names in them, each one of theirs. So would it count if Bruce was like, hey, somebody call me a terrible thing, right? Find this. If we would have supplied the same thing, it would have been about him. Would he have accepted that as that meaning? Absolutely. So, what a weirdo. But the Canon 3B6 of the Code of Conduct for United States judges provides a judge should take appropriate action upon the receipt of reliable information indicating the likelihood that a lawyer violated applicable rules of professional conduct. This coming from Bruce, by the way. So he just told the judge that, you know what, judge, when a lawyer violates the rules of professional conduct, like not showing up for meetings, not coming to the hearings that you talk about, he should immediately do something about it. The audacity, the guy who doesn't show up.
The guy who doesn't show up.
So the court has reliable information indicating Mr. Shochet violated rules of professional conduct 4-33, which states candor toward the tribunal, false evidence, duty to disclose. A lawyer shall not knowingly, 1, make a false statement of fact or law to a tribunal or fail to correct a false statement of material fact or law previously made to the tribunal by the lawyer. You want to read the next
Fail to disclose a material fact to a tribunal when disclosure is necessary to avoid assisting a criminal or fraudulent act by the client. offer evidence that the lawyer knows to be false. A lawyer may not offer testimony that the lawyer knows to be false in the form of a narrative unless so ordered by the tribunal. If a lawyer, the lawyer's client, or a witness called by the lawyer has offered material evidence and the lawyer comes to know of its falsity, the lawyer should take reasonable remedial measures, including, if necessary, disclosure to the tribunal, which, by the way, we've seen happen in the Laura Owens case when Corey Keith had to file a statement of candor to the court because he found out that something he said in court that his client told him was false. And that is what you do. Yeah, but there's no reason Randy Shockett would have to do this because nothing Jeremy has said is false. We have the proof. I'm still looking.
I wonder
for
though, some of the things
somewhere.
Some of the things that have been alleged by his clients, I would say would fall under that, in my personal opinion. So I wonder why we haven't seen him filing one of those about some of the things that they have said.
Yeah, that's a very good question. By the way, I found the proof I posted on Facebook. Oops, how do I get bigger on this? I don't know if you can see this very well, but look at number 5.
Oh yeah, I remember that a while back. Yeah.
John is not an SO or a PDF file, but I find it funny you hang out with men that are, and you yourself are disgusting towards children, mainly focusing on little girls. Where's my beep?
I don't know. Take that off my screen before you get me demonetized, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's take it down.
So that was one, but there's more. There's more. There's like yeah,
there's 3 instances for sure that I can think of right off the top of my head that go with those kind of statements. That right there. And again, this kind of stuff has been, the messaging is loud and clear. 100%. And you know that what's crazy is the ecosystem has taken those statements that she would make and they have made that their rallying cry. They talk about him all the time, not trying to photograph, but why? Oh, they're trying to take photo again. While that whatever his name was on that show, what, Topher, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So while he was on there, you know, they talked about how they see him coming and they have to hide the kids because of this and that. The message is very clear. Oh, the absurdity. Mm-hmm. I swear. I mean, I've heard people like lie and fall, you know, misrepresent, and oh God, just the level of this insanity.
It is. It's crazy. So Mr. Shockett cannot demonstrate a good faith belief that his client's statement in paragraph 19 of document 8 was factually true because he failed to confirm the existence of online posts calling plaintiff a child predator made by Preston and Cook before filing his client's sworn affidavit. Well, that's weird because he literally has them. Randy has all kinds of stuff. And in fact, I believe that Jeremy has given Randy a bunch of evidence that he has not put out to the public yet either. Well, so yeah, he's got tons of it.
We have seen, like going back to, you know, stuff before we even got involved looking at this case, we have seen quite a few things that have surfaced. They've been like, whoa, wow, you know, that's something. I didn't realize that existed.
Yeah, remember the voice recording that Lynette did to those people in Northport?
Oh yeah,
where she calls him a child busser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was recently while we were covering the case.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Well, you know, there was this whole layer of stuff. Like, I'm curious. I don't even know how this worked out. You remember how there were those messages where Miltos was talking all that smack about John Cook repeatedly, talking about what kind of garbage he was essentially and all this other stuff. And it went from that to, oh, look at this picture of John Cook wearing my shirt, you know? What's up with that? I'd like to know how one became the other. Oh, is that because Jeremy Hales suddenly he called you out for your stupid? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, that's true. I actually found that recording. I'm trying to figure out how to make Dropbox make a transcript of it. Doesn't it do that?
Yeah, it does. Once it's up there, there's a little button on the side.
A little button on this. Oh, there it is. Okay, here, I'll try and make it a transcript. All right. So where was I? For his client committed perjury. Mr. Shockett suborned it, and they both committed fraud on the court to falsely influence the exercise of jurisdiction.
I like how you remixed it. It made me laugh. You know, you either transformed it into something, you know.
That's how I think. Leave me alone.
Welcome to the Megan remix. You on the B-side, sucker.
Mr. Showshay's possible perjury to gain admission to the Florida bar. Oh, here we go with this again. Please stop. This is so crazy. By the way, Bruce is being sued for this right now.
Yeah, well, this will work because he's tried to throw this into yet other again. He's not on this.
It's just defamation. It's just defamation. That's all it is. And he's trying to defame Randy to this judge and make the judge dislike him.
Yeah, he's hoping to influence this case, a case that, again, he is no longer a part of. So is what we're going to see from now on, though, is this their new legal strategy to pretend, oh, before Bruce left, he actually wrote this, you know? And you'd be like, but that's for a brand new motion. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Before Bruce left, he actually mapped out exactly what our bankruptcy lawyer should say. I mean, it is weird, though. I mean, they suddenly find this and they're like, well, you know, by the way, we totally meant for this to be put in on the record. But, you know, while our lawyer was quitting, he didn't have a chance to put that in.
Pretty much.
I love it. It's funny. It's so absurd.
This is crazy. In addition to reporting Attorney Shockett to the Florida bar for an investigation into his subornation of perjury to influence this court's exercise of jurisdiction, the court should request the bar also investigate Attorney Shockett's original application and admission to the Florida bar in light of the information detailed in the Arkansas Supreme Court's decision from 8,000 years ago in 1998. Unless the Florida Board of Bar Examiners granted admission to Mr. Shockett despite his known history of, yeah, they did. They knew it. They knew all about it. So all of his, all of his guesswork here is completely wrong. It's completely wrong, and it will come out in the new lawsuit. He's completely wrong.
I'm just amazed because he knows better. He absolutely like Bruce has lost his ever-loving freaking mind in this case.
And where he says it seems likely that Mr. Shockett failed to disclose his history on his Florida bar application, wrong. False. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Well, this is an out-of-state lawyer doing this too. So that's what makes this even more interesting to me, because you have an interloper, you know, interfering.
Yeah, carpetbagger. They're gonna love that in Florida.
What a weirdo, man.
Total
Mr.
weirdo.
Showshay can easily debunk any notion he wasn't candid with the Florida board. Look at this. This is nuts. Oh, he needs to come in and he needs to make an announcement of this, you know, basically telling Bruce, who is, by the way, not on this case anymore, but even if he was, this wouldn't matter. But he needs to tell Bruce exactly what went on with this. You know,
this is like Lips demanding that I give her every detail of my work history. As if I owe that to her or anybody else, instead of just looking it up because it's a public record, and I've done many interviews about it where you could just go find it out yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of
Very
easy
similar.
to find. It's very easy to
Yeah,
find.
it's very easy to find, but like demanding that I just explain every job I ever had and who I brought coffee to in 1997.
Can somebody explain this to me, by the way? Why is every one of her new video, the long ones, why are they all 9 minutes and 33 seconds?
They must be the same video.
Yeah, well, not every one of them is. I mean, is she recutting pieces and just slapping something in? Because some of them aren't the same. I thought that at first.
It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, okay, when I went through 3 videos and they weren't the same because see, I had thought they are the same videos. In fact, I almost didn't pick them up because I noticed that they had this exact same length. It's like, they've got to be different ones, right? But no.
Maybe she's a Mason, don't they get weird? Don't they get weird with numbers? 33.
Is that what that is?
Maybe, I don't know. Look, nothing would shock me at this point, She might be a reptilian for all we know. Who knows? But I love this. I love this argument that it's up to Mr. Shockett to disabuse me of these allegations.
Mr. Shockett must prove.
He must prove. As if you didn't go to the law school and you don't know that the accused is innocent unless you prove him guilty. It's your job. It's your burden, not his.
They've already, again, he's wanting to go back fucking almost 3 decades and pretending that something happened 3 decades ago, which again will be easily disproven. It will be disproven, like you said, in lawsuit. That's where
it'll be hilarious, and I can't wait for it because the thing is, Randy he absolutely could have debunked this a long time ago. The fact that he didn't is 3D chess. He just made you look so stupid, Bruce. You're gonna look like the dumbest asshole this side of the nut house. I'm telling you, you are a dumbass. And you continuing to harp on this, you should have figured by now that him not saying anything is a bad sign for you.
Yeah, he became very comfortable with the idea that he wasn't going to do anything, and that was actually pretty stupid to think, that he wasn't going to do anything just because he hadn't so far. Bruce became very comfortable in the idea that he could keep saying things. They could become more and more extreme, and they were some of these statements are extreme statements, by the way. They are.
Oh yeah. They are. And you want to talk about violating attorney ethics? You don't go after attorneys like this with no evidence of anything. This is outrageous.
He's trying to interfere again. He's trying to make this case about something that is not part of this case. It's like Mr. Shipshay. He can easily debunk any notion he wasn't candid with the Florida Board of Bar Examiners by simply responding to this request with a representation to this court. Again, prove to me now, right now, Bruce, that you did disclose the Arkansas Supreme Court decision.
Why is that any of his business? I would think that would be between Randy and the bar and nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has no bearing on this case. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on here. And this is the kind of stuff, when this is read, this judge should again, he just lets stuff keep going.
He just lets it go, and it's crazy.
Like, it's stricken. Yeah, it's stricken, but good God, dude. I mean, this is well out of bounds. And if you don't correct these people, they continue. Well, we've seen what
they
they've
just
done
keep
already.
doing it. They just keep doing it. They will take and take and take until there's no more left to take. I mean, and then they keep going. They're awful, and they need to be slapped like hard by a judge. This is just it. It's very frustrating because I feel like we're finally getting somewhere in the Ohio case.
Yeah.
The wheels of justice turn slow, but they're cranking towards them now, and they have no more. There's no more room to go. There's no more delays to be made. It's happening in January. This judge isn't going to put up with any more shit. I guarantee it.
It definitely, they definitely did a few things recently too that I think they're real problems for them. Again, I mean, they're undeniable.
If I were the judge, I'd give them life.
They're definitely
life in prison for contempt, because you people are never going to get better. You're never going to be different. You're always going to be doing this. That is clear.
I really hope that, like I said, one of these police officers, they show up, especially after what happened 2 days ago. Hope they show up, with that, and they can ask them, hey, why don't you see this as a problem? Why isn't them sending, they say that they sent this over to the police, so you have proof that they are indeed stalking people under a protective order. They sent over, and they sent it out of a live stream that was played. They have all of this. They posted about it. Why don't you have a problem with that? So I hope they do. I really do. But let's see. If he does not refute the appearance that he withheld this information to prevent rejection for a Florida law license, such failure should be seen as an implicit admission and thus grounds for the court to refer Mr. Shockett to the bar for investigation of his Florida bar application. That's what he filed this, again, and he was so proud of himself. He thought, because you can imagine behind the scenes, this being talked up. This is going to be the bombshell that when we drop it, it's going to end Randall. It's going to end him. Yeah, he'll be so terrified, he'll pee himself when that judge drops the hammer on him.
But does he think that, they haven't already tried this? Because Bruce has tried this several times.
I
it never
He
works.
was very excited.
What's really funny about that is that nobody even got a chance to read this before the judge struck it.
Yeah,
it happened so fast. In fact, I was listening to, I think Georgie and Coop were the first ones on the show to read it, because it had just come out. And the order to strike it came out before they were even past the first page.
That's what
it was perfect.
When I got sent it, I milled back. I went to sleep, and right when I woke up, I was like, "Oh, it's already been kicked.
It's already been killed. It's already DOA." I mean, okay, what's your next move, genius?
What's funny is they're filing in a case that they themselves have been reminding the court that it's frozen. So, whoopsie, it's not just that it's totally out of bounds, but again, they have been complaining to the court repeatedly. Hey, you can't have anybody file anything. Remember all those? By the way, I wonder what's happening with the hearing that's about to come up. That we got that hearing in December, right?
Yeah. Which one is that? I forget.
That's in Thumbnail, right?
Thumbnail, right? Is that next week?
17th, right?
That's fantastic.
Next Wednesday.
Ooh, that's exciting. All right, I got a hangry raid. I gotta say goodnight. I love you.
He was saying goodnight.
He did. I accidentally muted the mic.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That was funny because I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, he went to bed.
I may get knocked out of here for a second. Something has frozen on the screen, so I may have to reload myself in. Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. I'll hold it down. Shut up, Jacob. Shut up, Nine Chins. Shut up, hoary mouth. Whatever the hell you people are called. Shut up, the cucking fund. What's the chat doing? What are you doing? Georgie, did you set up our secret server we talked about? Well, it's not secret if you're talking about it in the open. Did anyone else get scared when they went silent for a second and I was thinking Megan hit the button? I feel like I've been so traumatized by ending the stream that I'll never do it again. I really don't think I'll ever do it again. I was wondering when he would bounce out. I really don't. I've been so traumatized by doing it twice that I'm paranoid to even go near that end stream button now. Check the thumbnail case update. I saw it, but the docket is still locked, so we can't see what it is. It's basically just, is it by Bruce? Is it some bullshit that Bruce filed? It's a memorandum of law regarding motion for sanctions against a debtor plaintiff during automatic bankruptcy stay. And I don't know who wrote that. I have no idea. And then a memorandum of law regarding court's authority to hear pending motions against plaintiff and against third party Bruce Matskin while plaintiff is under bankruptcy stay. Ooh, nice. So that must be by Jeremy's side. If they're asking to hear pending motions against Bruce. That's fun. I want to hear those. That would be great.
Wait, what happened?
There's new stuff on the thumbnail case.
What is it? Do you know?
They are motions regarding court's authority to hear pending motions against plaintiff and against third party Bruce Matskin while plaintiff is under bankruptcy stay.
Memorandum of law regarding.
Yeah. And also it's a memorandum of law regarding motion for sanctions against a debtor, the plaintiff, during the automatic bankruptcy stay. So they're asking, I guess it looks like they're asking the judge to hear some stuff during the bankruptcy stay.
Well, they're trying to say, can we have this hearing? That's what it sounds like. Can we have this hearing during the bankruptcy stay? But I mean, with Bruce, the stuff with Bruce, he's not a party for the.
Yeah, I don't know why we couldn't go forward on him. Hey, also, speaking of bankruptcy, what's the status of that? When is the next hearing?
Something was sent over. I can't remember. There was a new item. Oh, by the way, before we forget, so there's another. Remember that big other piece of news?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So so the party, we can tell there's a bit of let's say panic after Jeremy Hales was called a PDF file by certain parties out there. And he noted, hey, you shouldn't be doing that because, you know what? I'll see you in court, for this kind of stuff. Guess what they decided to try to pull? Would you like to say, Miss Megalodonus?
Sure. So that bootlicker flea has a problem with someone using her actual name. Because Jeremy Hales put her name in his short. He talked about how it was her grandson that did this thing. And she filed a privacy complaint against his short for using her name. By the way, that is not a valid privacy complaint because your name is not a secret.
Well, that's interesting. So, my name is known because of a byproduct of doxing. That was never something I myself revealed. So if that is upheld, then perhaps I will return the favor. And anytime it's been noted.
Aren't they unbelievable? I believe that they were completely okay with not only me being doxxed, my house being doxxed, and all of this stuff. But recently, one of Leslie's videos that she put up in her manic state put my full name, address, and phone number.
So that's crazy, man.
I don't see them, saying that that's wrong. Nobody put Bootlicker's phone number and address on a screen. You think that Tori, you use your name, Tori. Your name is Tori. Like everyone knows your name. You think people don't know your last name? They do. And what's the big deal? Who cares? She's trying a privacy complaint just for her name. Unbelievable, you guys. But there is no line to what these people can do to us.
They just said, not just that, they just said, so she said on a stream the other night and talked about, we know exactly where you are, Jeremy Hales. Jeremy Hales is like, hey, he has a protective order against the people that are supplying them with footage stuff. But he's telling the world, hey, I am not in Otter Creek. And they're like, oh, we know exactly where you are. And we're going to tell the world exactly where you are. So, yeah,
like it's some
not a
public
problem.
interest thing, which is crazy.
But it's just nuts, though. I mean, again, they've sat out there and they have done some awful stuff. Awful, absolutely awful stuff. And there is always they want to return to victimhood, though. They can complain and they can that what that tells me at the end of the day with everything, though, is that they want respect, but they don't give it. And we demand a boundary, really, because used to spend 2 years digging through this dude's life. You can't. It's
and his
insane
divorce records, and like making stuff up about his children, and making stuff up about protective orders that don't exist, and like spreading lies. And the guy uses your name, and you file a privacy complaint. You've got to be high. Like, you must be joining Gabe on the wiki, whatever wiki sticks he's smoking.
These people, man. I just sometimes when I see what they do, and listen, I'm like, I have to do another take and think, are you kidding me? Are they really doing that after everything they're pulling and everything they're doing? Is this the way they want to try to roll?
Yeah, apparently they do. And it's unbelievable. They're false flagging, false reporting of videos. Here's the other thing. It's a classic example of their hypocrisy too, about what's good for them is not good for anybody else. They use my voice on their soundboard, which I don't give a shit about. But I'm not allowed to play any of their content under fair use, or they will falsely strike my channel. And yet they have a fair use statement before every show they do, clearly indicating they know what fair use is. And they use my voice. They use Tug's voice. They've played other stuff, but we can't do it to them on YouTube, or they will have our channel struck with false copyright strikes. I mean, it's just incredible. These people they're the absolute worst.
Well, they're hypocrites. That's what they are. They ultimately, at the end of the day, they're all hypocrites, and I kind of love pointing that out.
I know.
Again, they've turned over every freaking thing in his life. They've turned everything upside down, trying to look for things to weaponize. Everything in the man's life. There isn't one thing that they've looked for anything they could weaponize.
Yeah, ex-girlfriends. They've looked through everything, and they have the nerve.
They create fake freaking social platform accounts.
Fake text messages.
Yeah. Then when they
remember the fake text messages?
Oh, yeah.
Those were funny.
What's really funny is when they get caught like faking stuff now, when the Thats have been cornered with a lot of their fakery, and all their duplicity and everything else. Now they're complaining about, well, other people could make fake texts about them. So, when they have a bunch of stuff that started to come out, up in the wash, apparently everything's fake now. So that's funny, considering, again, fake. Remember the fake images they put on a website saying that we had, said certain things on a live stream and pulled up an image, and it's like, that's not how the live stream thing works.
They're unbelievable. It's unbelievable everything. What they are worth, and that Tori, man, she is nasty. I mean, she is one of the nastiest people out there with her threats about what she can find and what she can do and what she's going to dig up on you. But the second someone uses her name, suddenly it's a privacy complaint. Oh, sister, you are in the wrong arena. Well, you jumped in here.
I very well remember them making those kind of threats. And like I said, we've found things like articles, that they should know what articles we're talking about. Once they tried to go since then. Other items too. We found all kinds of things, but they didn't pertain to the case. So we set them aside. But I personally do not appreciate weirdos threatening me, you know? And some of, like I said, some of the stuff.
Oh yeah, we found a really weird thing about Tori.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just say it. It's about her, and it's disturbing AF. But it, like you said, it didn't have anything to do with what we were covering, and so we decided we'll leave it be.
Set it aside.
But you people think that what, you can continually hit us and hit people here and nothing will happen?
Dude,
like it's
the other night, I'll tell you, like I figure I'll note this because they tried to, when I covered the Amber Heard stuff, man, those people, they would go on anonymous accounts and make up all kinds of crazy shit, right? But they were anonymous, you know, they were smart enough to stay anonymous. Well, these idiots, the night they tried to resurrect some of that. Some things like they said, literally, they said that I had been a guidance, not a guidance counselor, but a school shrink, I guess is the way I'm going to say
like
it.
a school counselor. Who the hell makes this shit up, by the way?
Yeah. Well, they used a different term though, and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, we'll just go with a school counselor, school shrink, whatever. And that I had a client there that I had, I'm going to use the word broomed, but instead of a B, a G.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
ended up marrying that client. And I was like, well, that's weird because,
my
they
God.
said this stuff live. And I was like, wow. First of all, I've never been a school guidance counselor ever. Second of all, I got married before I practiced mental health, you know, so that doesn't work out in the timeline in any way, shape, or form, you know. And third, that kind of stuff would open you up to grave consequences under the state, you know. you would had some real problems. But these people just straight up, they say shit like that, you know. And my response to that is, okay, you really want gloves off? You want me to just read any weird thing that I find on the internet about you? Because I did find some stuff.
Yeah, we did.
You know,
some really weird shit.
Some of it in your own words, by the way, or, you know, others.
Yeah.
Whatever. And, you know, again.
About your family. Like, we found some real weird shit on the internet that is out there about you, Tori. Real weird shit that most people would be like, wow, that's disturbing.
Well, these people prove why they get sued. You know, they prove why they're in lawsuits because, you know, in the moment, they're denying the idea that you actually had somebody arrested. You know, you had Gabe arrested. They deny that that's real. And meanwhile, through all of this stuff, they just make up shit about other people and try to defame and mess their lives up. It's wild stuff.
But what else would you expect from people who are?
I don't expect anything good from any of them. They're terrible fucking people. Terrible. But, you know, I'm wondering, like I said, I mean, very vague in this because I'm curious how this is going to come up. But I'm wondering if the L's are going to try to get ahead of some
do some
really
damage control.
Yeah, because they got some damage control to do.
Damage incoming.
Oh my God, it is going to be nuts.
It is.
I love seeing like some of the chaos that's rounding the way, you know, knowing what's coming down the pipe.
I'm tempted to go on vacation just so it'll really pop off.
Oh yeah, man, you need to. Don't you have any relatives that you need to go visit for Christmas? You know?
Yeah, no. I think I have some visitors coming here for Christmas, so I don't think I'm taking off anytime soon. So it may just have to slow roll out.
Check this out. So I was going through some of my old images. Look, this took me forever to get. Look at that little snowflake. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, that's
real.
Cool.
Yeah, the real. That's on a
wow.
tripod. And yeah, that's the real deal.
That's beautiful.
I love macro photography. I've got some people that like bugs, so they, you know. But let's see. I'll show you some cool ones. Like here, look at these. Isn't that awesome?
I don't mind pictures of bugs. I just don't want them on me.
Look, this is sand. These are grains
cool.
of sand. Yeah. That's beetles, you know. I like
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah, like I love watching nature programs about insects and stuff. I just don't want them on me.
He's a little. He looks cool. I thought.
Yeah, he
I
does
love
look cool.
macro photography though. Oh God, me and the oldest, we used to do a lot of that together. And
That's cool.
Yeah, the little one's like, I got to stand still for how long to get a picture?
Aw.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, I don't think so.
She's like, that's not my speed, Dad.
Yeah. Because you have to set up and everything, and it like getting something the size of a freaking the top of a nail. You're trying to take some great picture of it. It takes a minute. And nowadays with the kids too, they're like, oh, my little one was like, yeah, couldn't you make that in AI, Dad? I was like, oh my God, now there goes your real pictures. Just make it in AI.
True.
Why should I ever do that? It's kind of sad its own way. All right, I think I'm going to go over super chats. Are you hanging? Or are you out?
I'm gonna go.
No.
I'm gonna go lay down and try to go to sleep. I haven't slept much. It's been
rest
weird
up.
weather here, and everybody's sick now again. So now I'm the only one left in the house that isn't sick. Oh, I have something for you before I go though.
Ooh.
So Grok made this for you. This is the girls helping you do yoga. Look, they're like, stretch, Dad, stretch.
The only difference in there is, more belly. I'd look more like a teeter-totter. That's hilarious.
All right, and on that note, see you, chat.
I've got to show that to my old age. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, folks, yeah. Some people were asking, by the way, how the like the snowflake picture and other stuff. That's from macro photography. You just take like an old, you could take like a DSLR, one of the old school like entry camera. Nowadays, you could buy those for a couple $100. Like that was a D3200 Nikon, and then find a lens that will allow you to get something that close. They do make lenses for macro. That's one thing that with phones and other stuff, they don't have the zoom capacity where you can get in that close. It is not, it's painstaking though, because you will take a lot of pictures that will be a waste, but you will get those perfect ones are worth it. I like them, but I haven't done it in a while. Look at all these. Check these out. I'm gonna show you a couple of things, and then we're gonna go over stuff. Look at all the new images. Look, we got all our. I like the movement, like at the bus stop here, hanging out. I like a lot of these. I've been taking old pictures that are just sitting around and making a move. And I haven't seen what they do. I like the singing turtles. It's funny. Grok, by the way, I do have to say, I will give it kudos. Grok has the best moving picture category. ChatGPT has a setup where they say, well, we won't allow anything that looks like a person, but they include things like the mask. With the mask, where you obviously are not a person, they will include that, but only sometimes. So it's Sora through ChatGPT. I'm not a big fan of Sora. I think it does a good job, not comparatively. But anyway, let's do this here. So Sherry kicked it off here. Sherry, thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership, and welcome to Tux. And thank you for being here. Thank you to all of you too. We had a great live stream. What a filing too. What a filing. Somebody wrote me, by the way, and asked, let me read the question as well, because this was something I was noting at the beginning, but I think this is a good thing to note again. So somebody asked, I would say who, but I don't know if you want your name there, so I won't say that. If memory serves me correct, right after the first stay was issued in the case, Crook said that he had a bombshell that would stop the case, then submitted this exact motion, and it was stricken already. I actually think they put this in, so I'd have to go back, but I think it's right after Bruce was off the case. They put in, I'd have to see how exact it was, because he did drop in a filing. I just can't remember. It's been a minute since I've looked at any of Fed 1, because Fed 1 has been frozen for so long that, man, I'm going to have to go back and refamiliarize myself with that whole stupid case too. You know that? Like we all are. We're all going to have to go back and just refamiliarize ourselves, because there is a lot of documentation. I'm also going to have to put that into the docket. I mean, you realize we're closing in on 100 and what order was there? Let me see what number that was before. Yeah, so we're past. So we just passed 175. We're up to 176 filings in that, and we haven't done anything. I mean, we haven't done anything. But yeah, Cook did drop a filing in. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to look, because I can't remember what it was. I mean, back in like I think it was 126 or so. That's when Bruce requests to leave. So, you had, I remember, what was John Cook motion for summary?
I know where it is.
Is it 137?
It's no, I think it was 166 and 166-1. I'm looking at it. Okay. It looks like it's his John Cook's motion for summary judgment, and it has a lot of the same stuff in it, including Polymop.
Wait. Just a second, man. Okay, so he filed a motion for summary judgment in 137. Look at 137. It'll have
okay. What's 137?
That's a motion for summary judgment with a memorandum for. Is that the same thing that he filed in 166?
160. Yeah, maybe.
We need to look at it, because has he filed the same thing essentially multiple times?
Well, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. He's a total dumbass. Like, what? Oh my God, this whole thing has been just to confuse and stymie the court. And then then it got struck. So 137 and 138 got struck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what it says.
See, all he does though is he strikes this stuff off the record, but he doesn't do anything about these fucking clowns.
He should sanction them for continuing to file things that get struck off the record.
They're the ones who stopped the case.
Yeah, the order striking it was, let's see, because the case was stayed to allow defendants time to locate new counsel. The stay is set to expire on May 14th, but it's holding a status conference. Okay, so and then there was another one. Oh, no additional filings are permitted in this matter. There was no order, though, explaining why 137 and 138 got struck. It just got it was just a docket entry.
Yeah, it was because the case was closed though at the time. That was the problem. There were supposed to be no new filings.
Well, only because they were waiting for them to get an attorney. This was before the bankruptcy.
I would say, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. There was still a freeze on the case though, while everything was. They weren't supposed to be filing.
So 137 got struck and 138, and then.
175. Man, we didn't put 172.
Order denying motion to vacate. Motion for summary judgment on counterclaim filed by Cook. 166. Yeah, and then 167, and then 169 was an order. What did the judge say?
Man, people, you should see the volume of stuff.
It's crazy.
I mean, we have to pay for storage area because it's so much,
Yeah, so it got stayed. That's when it got stayed. Right after 166 and 67, 169 stayed the case because of bankruptcy proceedings.
Yeah. But it was stayed before because of the hunt for, because of
A
Bruce,
lawyer.
essentially, or the lack of Bruce.
Yeah, because he had to leave the case, and the judge gave them time to get another lawyer. But by 166, so his motion for summary judgment, which is very similar to what we just saw with his letter, very, very similar. I don't know if that got an order. The next order on the docket was on 172, but this is about the notice of similar case. This is not about the motion for summary judgment. I don't think that he ruled on that. I think that might be outstanding, 166.
Well, there, 166 is, he said no more motions for summary judgment, though. Remember how he, like, threw a fit about that?
Yeah, and I remember back when this happened, we were like, what the hell?
Yeah.
How come he didn't, why
aren't you out there,
it?
like, throwing a fit at them because you threw a fit at Randy? You were definitely riled about that when you thought Randy Shockett would make something to take aim at.
Yeah, he didn't, I don't think he did, unless, wait. Oh my God, there it is. There it is. 175, I found it. Request for the court to report Mr. Shockett's subornation of perjury.
That's this one. That's it.
That's it.
No, that is this one. That's the one we just read.
Oh, put this in there.
I just made that folder.
Oh, you just put this in there. I was like, oh, darn it.
I'm making
I was like, he already did it. He put it in.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, I found it. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. 175, I think that's the one we got there. No, it's.
Oh, I see.
Well,
So you've already updated.
Nice.
That's why.
Those titles are very helpful, by the way.
Well, where's 173 and 74?
I have no idea. That's what I was saying.
We're missing those.
Well, there's a mess of, again, that. I'll tell you, Fed 2 is a freaking mess because.
Well, that's because you had me doing it. And I'm sorry, but I'm really bad at it.
Oh my God, man. Listen to this. I'm a terrible organizer. I know you
I'm
neurotically need everything in a file.
I know. It's bad. I'm really bad at it.
Oh, it's funny.
I try. I sat for hours trying to get it organized, and I did the best I could, but my best is not very good.
Man, where did I put my tiny little violin?
Shut up.
Hey, we're talking about, we're getting quite a few, considering those that stuff is still in the serve me stages. We're rolling up into some high number. I mean, we were well over 100 already. We're in the 120s in that one. In filing, I believe it's 100. And that's nuts,
Yeah. And nobody's even been served, really.
No, I mean, we're still sitting around while a judge allows these people to dodge service. Proactively brag about dodging service. Can you imagine?
And he doesn't care. The judge doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit.
I feel like he's, he would care if it were Jeremy Hales saying he was black. If Jeremy Hales was online saying, "Oh, look, you can't serve me," he'd probably be like, "Yup, get that man in jail."
Yeah, he probably would. He'd probably be like, "Contempt."
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. But yeah, I see no order on 166 and 167. 169 is the order for the notice of similar case. It's not about the motion for summary judgment. There is no order out there for the motion for summary judgment unless it was 173 or 4 that we don't have in here.
Yeah.
Or it could be document 170 as well. That one's missing as well.
Yeah. Well, that's where they pause, It's like, did I put something in there? God, the other stuff too. Like some of the things keeping up with, God, like Lips, for example. At a certain point, you don't keep everything she does. After about 115 videos, you're like, yeah, I think I made my point, But
yeah,
it's insane. I mean, with her alone, when you go through, I believe I would guess between all of the different accounts and everything else, you probably have 500 videos at least.
I know. It's
I mean,
nuts.
that's nuts, considering when you look at some of the other people and how long they've been in here, I kept thinking that she had been in here longer than she had, to be honest, just because of all of that. I kept thinking
she's the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
Well,
that's a nice way to put it. All right. Anyway,
all right. I'll go look for those other documents, see if I can find them.
Okay. All right. Good deal. See ya. Thank you, Max Lab, by the way. It has been crazy, and it's been a loony case, period. But these people, they think that they are immune to any type of order, anything else. And I mean, really, why shouldn't they feel that way? Again, you get the feeling that certain judges, they give them a lot of, they talk a big talk. They talk that big game about how they're going to shut this stuff down. They're not going to allow this to happen. But then they let it happen. So, I mean, really, why wouldn't they feel like they can do anything? God, what haven't they allowed this time? Fallen hero, man. 36 months. That's amazing, by the way. 3 years of singing. That's awesome, too. And it's Christmas month time. That's awesome, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. For real. Some of you all, like I said, you all make the channel anyway, but some of you all have been here forever. And I cannot say how much I appreciate you all, It's fun. That's why I like to come on every day. Mama Cat, thanks for the 11 months there. It's my birthday. Can I get a song? No, I'm just kidding. Of course you can.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Heck yeah.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday! May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday! We love to have you here. Happy birthday! Here's to another year.
Oh, wrong way. Yeah. So, what a bunch of crazy. I was looking at a couple other things while I was going on too. Hey, I hope you've had a great birthday. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Almost a year on you. Thank you. It's awesome. Sticky. Thank you. 14 months, my friend. It seems like only 14 short months ago that I became a member of the bestest stream on YouTube, besides Megan's. Don't ban me, Megan. That's right. Watch out for the ban hammer. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you too, man. Again, all of you, it's fun because you get to know everybody. Everybody becomes like this assorted list of just fun people and characters. It's great stuff. Jack's mom. Hey, Jack's mom. I saw the that stuff, by the way, that was sent there. Oh my God, I got sent a series of pictures. And they are really funny. I think they would be really funny if they were all put together, like in something moving. But it's pretty awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for the gifto as well. Appreciate you there. Hey, it's me. Thanks for the 10. You both are magic together. Have you considered another topic together, maybe once a week? Yeah. Well, my problem has been, like I said, first of all, thank you. My problem is on this particular topic, it is so vast that for myself, I can do a partial tracking on something, but I can't do it well, and I don't like to just talk about a random thing. I like to know, I don't like to get it wrong. That's my thing, because we're dealing with human beings. So this is the way I look at it. And great question, by the way. I think a lot of people, when they cover headlines, and when you cover a headline with the stuff that we cover, many of the things that we cover, they deal with accusations, very bad accusations sometimes, and you can cover that coming up. And there is nothing meant negatively. We talk about that. For me to give an opinion beyond a document, I like to really be informed on something. And if this were just a case of one item going on, I think you could do that okay. But currently, again, we've got active, we still have the 2 active state cases. We have the protective order, not to mention all just the assortment of crazy that comes up daily from these folks on top of that. But we have that, the Fed cases, even though they're paused, look, we still get movement on them too. We have the Bruce suit. We have Leslie, and we have the Leslie suit. So I haven't figured out how to do anything else besides cover this. That's been my problem, and it's also the most entertaining thing that I see online. So I mean, I have to feel like something draws me to it, like I feel interested in it. And I mean, I can talk about a headline, like I say, but with this one, I feel very versed in this subject. I know all the players, I know all the crazy, and it happens every day, So we've thought about it and talked about it. Like I said, I don't know how well I could do in there. I don't want to do it well. That's the one thing. American woman thrifter, thanks for the 5 there. Who told Topher about this topic? Yeah, very good question. Who has drilled that in and in and in? And they also said that he doesn't understand the connotation of that certain word, the PDF file word, right? Where did it come from then? Why was that his go-to? Why did he bring that up specifically if he doesn't understand what's going on there? Just HG saying bad things about YouTubers. It's a scary part. Some things they should not know. Yeah, well, that's a good point. When you had Preston and Cook, when they talk about HG, remember they talked about the things with like Travis, like her thoughts on that, the scary monster across the street, the stuff with Jeremy. And some of that stuff is just, it's so beyond. It makes you really question, like you said, why do they know about that? Why? What's up, Jin? BB Jin. Thank you for the 5 there. 20 questions. Is it a 2025 or a 2026 baby? Wait, I don't remember what that's in reference to anymore. A 2025 or a 2026 baby. I don't know. Maybe that'll dawn on me in a minute, my brain. JM, by the way, says, if I remember right, Topher made some nasty comments that they all got stirred up about. Yeah, he's made some pretty ugly statements, Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. If it comes to me, if I remember what that's about, if it is a direct question that I should remember, again, apologies, write me and I would definitely answer it too. I'm just, like I said, it's just not sticking with me there. My favorites, thanks for the 2 there. No, I'm being punked. I feel like that sometimes. I really do. With a bunch of this, I feel like I'm being punked. I hope you're doing well. I have my favorites, by the way. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Yeah, we got the news there. Thank you. Thank you, buddy, by the way. Appreciate that. Jay said, I don't have a bombshell, but I have some snaps. I did like that's what brought that discussion about his letter. Again, I think it's funny because anytime when he's written paint chips through that fit. Well, they kept calling him a traitor. He's going to bring down the Hales empire. And now he wrote again asking them, hey, where's that trial by combat that you promised us? And they're like, oh my God, traitor. Dad, I saw that, by the way, Rebecca. That's why I said Megan Box, instead of Megan Fox, because of the Jeremy Hill video where he had the box for her to live in. Saw that. That was really funny. Thank you too. Yeah. Saw that, by the way, Robin. Thank you for noting. Max Lab was trying to get our attention. Thank you. Also, Keith, by the way, thank you for noting that too. Appreciate that very much. So I want to see what that stuff is, I do. I want to see what that is. Bug Naked, thanks for the two. Name one person on this side that isn't disabled. Well, legally or, other. You notice, though, for real, it's always a go-to excuse. Like I said, if we're talking about disability, does that mean that I am somebody that they cannot ever speak about? Because, again, I have a permanent disability, When I drive around, I've got a permanent one. Does that mean like suddenly with that it allows me to say whatever I want to say? No, consequence-free behavior. Because that's pretty much what they're implying. That because somebody, they brought him on again. If he does not understand right from wrong, by the way, why is he on that? I mean, seriously, why would you bring him on there? Why would you expose him to potential litigation? Because that is how you get sued, by the way. I mean, he very clearly called him a PDF, very clearly. And on top of that, the messaging was very clear from those people. Now, of course, they tried to deny that. No, that's not what, but they've spent so much time saying that. And again, this is the perfect example of what their messaging, it says to other people. They've decided to go down that pathway. They want people to think that, because that is the most damaging thing that you can hang on a person. You hang these claims. That's why they do it to everybody. Like I said, these disgusting weirdos, they hang anything on anyone. So bizarre. But yeah, I mean, that's a good question. It's always an excuse, though. So, JC, thank you for the. Now, it's my birthday. No, we're not in the ER. No. Nay. Nay. That's not fun. No, you're going to, you know what? When you get out of the ER, today you have special permission. I am going in. I've checked the rules and bylines to birthdays. And it notes that if you spend your birthday in the ER or you're sick or whatever, that you get a do-over. So even though your birthday itself, the physical day, you can't change that. You can change the celebratory day and you get a do-over. So I'm going to give you a song today, but remember to have that do-over. When you get out, you get situated, get it, whatever remedy to the point you can go. You're not in the hospital. I don't know what's going on, but when you get to the point that you can have some fun, do something for yourself for sure. Let's have a song for you.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
I hope your birthday, again, I hope that today was a good distraction. We laughed at a lot of stupid. I hope that helped out. But again, you get that do-over again. Do something for yourself. Everybody needs to remember that this is a perfect lesson to take right now. You don't have to have money to do this either. But even if your days are insanely busy, if you're stretched thin, still, you need to take time for yourself. And you need to celebrate you. So, you need to take a day. It doesn't matter, like with birthdays. First of all, you need to make those days count. But also, just on the regular, every week you need to make time for yourself. Every day if you can, but definitely every week make time for yourself, Even if it's a few hours, just to do something. Even if it's to do nothing. If you're like, man, I'd like to take a nap today and just, dream about anti-ecosystem free world, whatever, No, actually, don't dream about them. Dream about something positive, but make time for yourself, for sure, and love to you. I hope this month, by the way, if this month, again, I note this too. I know there are a lot of people that these are hard. This is a hard month for them. This is a hard stretch of time. Well, remember, there are a lot of people that right here, this is a new world now. Used to, we were just in the physical and we may be isolated from folks, but now there's a whole new world, and there are a lot of people out there that love and support you all. Again, happy birthday. Teddy, thanks for the 10. So glad you two are here together. Indeed. I'm thankful, and it has been fun. I had a lot of fun today. I have fun all these. I cut up with Megan. We goof off. We laugh at each other about stupid stuff. Again, you hear like the stupid stuff about the Dropbox organization and all of that. And it's funny. Like for me, I neurotically, it is funny when you look at different things and you can tell who organizes it. Because like Megan, when she's organized something, she'll put it in. Now they're labeled and stuff. I mean, and it's fun. But for me, like I take it, I put each thing in its own little folder, put the filing in, anything that pertains to it, I stick it in there, I put it in there too. I might make subfolders on them, because especially with this case is so crazy, but it's funny when you look at the differences in there. And we give each other a hard time over both of them, for her approach and my approach. I love that. Jack's Bob, thanks for the 17 months there. Drive is a BBB word. That's true. Lynette has her own word for it. That's true too. That is true too. It's been interesting how Lynette. You notice, by the way, Lynette. She went quiet, which would be the smart thing to do. By the way, the smart thing for her to do would have been to go totally silent over everything that's going on right now. And she, for her part, had gone quiet, like a lawyer would tell you. But then they pop out the fence film, which again, we find out from 2L. Those are 2L's cameras and everything else. So they go from what could have potentially been one of their better legal strategies lately, like especially during what's transpiring right now, with all this protective order mess. But then they go and they dump pictures of Jeremy Hales out into the world. What's crazy, man. William, thanks for the fun. Jeremy Hales not only has to pay for armed security for himself and George, but for every person who show up at an event that may be targeted. Indeed. Actually, and here's the thing too. The reason he won't have it is because the random person's safety as well. If somebody tries to hurt him, he may not get hurt. But what happens to a random person? Some kid out there. What happened? That would weigh on you, and it'd weigh on you forever. It wouldn't be your fault, but you would still blame me. You'd be like, oh, man, that's on me. You think about the weight of all that. That's crazy. What's up, B-Red? How's it going, man? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Thugs. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, my friend. What's up, mostly harmless fuzzball? It's funny, I know what MH fuzzball. I can remember there. Thanks for the 5 for Megan's transmission. Yes, thank you. Thank you, by the way. That will totally not go to that. I love it. Thank you. This one here, thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate that. Appreciate the 2 for J-Hip Fun. Yes, for real. That will definitely not go to J-Hip. Thank you. Yeah. Bonnie, thanks for the 5 there. This is for the oven that will never see the breadsticks. Indeed. That's bravo. The breadstickless oven. I love it. Julie, thanks for the 5 there. Money for the fence. Not fence. That's right. Money for Megan to blow, but not by blow. I like that. Here's some money for you to blow, but not to buy blow. I love it. Oh man, by the way, so as I have noted many times, Audible just had its monster year-end sale, and I have found something that I absolutely love as a narrator. I'm going to suggest it, or suggest the person. So, as you know, I listen to a lot of horror books. You know, but there's a narrator. Man, I love him. I love how he sounds. His name is J. Rodney Turner. Okay, there's a book called Fear. It's the guy who wrote its name is Ronald Kelly, and he's a Tennessee writer. Actually, I didn't run across it. I didn't even know that's what it was. I was looking for books, with monsters in them, essentially, and the book Fear it's good. It's very good. But that guy reading, J. Rodney Turner, man, I love his voice. He's got that. I would play it here, but it would get copyright. Next time we do a freaking stream over with Rumble, I'll show you. Craig, thanks for the 10. For Tug, not for any barns, no fences, no benches, no campers, no turtles. Breadsticks are okay. Thank you there. Yes, indeed. I'm going to do a memorial fund with no memorial. How's that? The non-memorial fund. How's that sound? The next time we have a live stream, I'm going to do the non-memorial fund. Like that. I think that would be funny. I mean, if they can do a memorial fund and have no memorial, I want to do for right now. I'm going to do the non-memorial. Maybe I'll start it today. That's what this stuff is. Man, I got to make a banner for it and everything. Gosh, I need to do that. That's a great idea. We need to do the non-memorial fund. Let's see, ChatGPT. Let me ask it. Let me throw down a little. Oh, wow. I have to. What new personality do I like with. I'm ChatGPT. I pick a personality for it. I want a candid personality. I just want one that I don't need it to be stupid and tell me, man, make it better. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to complain about that here. I need a picture. I need a banner for a fundraiser that isn't meant to raise funds. It will be called the Not Memorial Fund. I need a memorial bench in the picture. And setting up. Give me 1 minute. I'm setting this up real quick. I love this idea. I love to goof off. That more than anything. I love the fact that there will be a lot of weirdos that will get butthurt because we're laughing about this stuff. They always get butthurt about it. I don't know. It's fun. Oh, let's do one with a Santa hat. Yeah, there we go. The Not Memorial Fund. There we go. All right. Now it's going to be working on that while we read. All right. Thank you, Emmy, by the way. Thank you for the 5. For anything you want, especially if it brings you joy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And by the way, I busted it down on some audiobooks, like I said recently. That, above anything, that is probably... oh God, I think I went through, I can't remember the number. I think Audible noted like right on 200 audiobooks last year, which I was like, wow, that's a bunch, but I play them wherever I go. So, and that doesn't count the ones like on YouTube or anything else. David, thanks for the 14 months. Illegal Vices, Vice Baby is on part 310 of bedtime story readings. Go Connor, indeed. And props to Connor too. You know what? We all go our own way. We do our own things. And I haven't given him a shout out in a while, but props to Connor. Man, I really like Jeff, like I said. And I'm glad I got to meet Connor because of that. But man, I do miss Jeff being around. I still have his Christmas present through this year. That's a crazy one. I still have Christmas present, or the Christmas present I had for him still sitting around. What chicken butt? Thanks for the 5 there. The ecosystem is so stupid. If you say it's a little chilly outside, they'll go outside with a bowl and a spoon. Indeed. I feel like that might actually happen. They also, here's the perfect example too. They spin things in such a weird way. Like the fraud with the blind man was brought up. And they keep saying, Gabe never conned a blind man. His victim, they do use the word victim, by the way, fun times. But this victim wasn't a blind man. And it's like, yeah, we're talking about the other fraud. I know there's a few of them, so you all get confused, but still. Green Veggie, what's up? Thank you for the 5 there. Yep. It's a barn. We all know who the ass is. I don't know. I get confused sometimes. There's a bunch of them. But yes, I got you there. Travis, thanks for the 5. I know plenty of autistic kids, and they're all smart as hell in their own way. And I'm mentally retarded from the motorcycle accident I function. For yourself, by the way, intelligence on a quotient, MR is, first of all, is an outdated term, right? Nowadays, some people will use, I heard intellectually disadvantaged was one I heard. But, really all you're talking about at the end of the day are numbers on a test. And they don't reflect what people can or cannot do. For that. And if a person, it's amazing too, when they talk about autism here, I have relatives that are on the spectrum that social cue wise, yes, they do not understand social cues. Like they're blunt, in the messaging. And I think what 2L is trying to say, if they're talking about understanding, it would not, if they're trying to use autism as an excuse, the thing is understanding of social cues. Okay. What to or not to say. But the thing is, you fed them the information and they're just blunt in saying what you fed them. So in that instance with that particular person, first of all, autism is not, they make it sound like it's so debilitating that this person doesn't understand right from wrong. They don't understand this or that. First of all, I can't get past the fact that they put, if a person is like, is having issues to that level, why would you bring them on this? Why would you put them out there where they can make these type of statements when they can blow back on them and cause them serious issues? Why would you ever do that? For me, again, I can't even rationalize that. But beyond that, the word was definitely understood. It's just, again, I think that they're trying to take social cues and they're trying to say, well, this or that this is what that means. And no, that person definitely, they understood the assignment. They understood what you were trying to convey and they parroted it back to you. They did. They very much. And they wanted them to be part of that. You could hear them. They were, agging it on. They wanted it until he just said the thing that they knew is the wording that will get you sued. It has been that thing repeatedly. And then they went into, no, that's not what we mean. No. Yeah, you said all types of stuff that reinforced that notion. And when they were correcting him too, what was really crazy is that during the correction portion, they still made statements about him that I would be like, well, what does that mean? How exactly is that you saying anything but that? I don't know. It just it blows my mind. all these idiots kept sitting around and being like, how is sharing pictures with Lisa, how's that a violation of a protective order? I don't think that is. People are allowed to share pictures. What morons. That absolutely. Again, this is the type of quality you get there. How would this be a violation? I'm reading here. Sharing pictures with Lisa Lee. How would that be a violation? This is not a violation. I wouldn't think so. It's not. People are allowed to share pictures. She's allowed to show me every car that goes by her property if she wants. People are allowed to talk. I mean, check this out. As a matter of fact, my cousin Kendra, who lives 3,000 miles away, has access to my cameras in front of my house. If we wants to go right now, she can go look and see what's going on in front of my house. Just so you know, that's not a problem. Yeah, does Kendra have a protective order against her? This kind of stuff here, this shows you a gross misinterpretation of how protective orders work. And it makes stalking, it makes excuses for it. I also love to, well, this was going on. Do I sound like I'm yelling or something? Because they always say I'm yelling. They always sound like I'm yelling. I know I get a little riled up, but I'm not yelling. So I love that. I love that it comes up. People are all the time being like, yo, you're yelling. You're yelling. You're trying to correct the audience. I'm not yelling. Their audience is like, yo, you need to quit yelling. Calm down. I'm not yelling. Who's yelling? You're yelling. I love it. Let's see. Bruce's bounty, by the way. Thank you for thank you for the 5 there. Bruce's bounty is weaker than bounty paper towels. If I can get better advice than Bruce. Indeed, the problem that with that is, again, they are playing a semantics game. They're like, we have to have the exact word right here. Exact words. They're calling me a. Yeah, well, we definitely let a jury decide on whether or not that's what those words are. Patrick, thanks for the 10. What's the difference between tainting a jury and jury tampering? And if the antis post signs all over Gainesville that are negative German, can that influence jury pool? Is that legal? Well, first of all, you can, you can't post signs that are like PDF file or all of this stuff. You're allowed to have an opinion of somebody. You can let that opinion be known in areas like right now. For example, when I'm broadcasting, there are cases going on right now. You might have people, again, in cases, they'll have arguments that media or journalists, they're biasing juries by just talking about cases and more. You do see that argument, but ultimately you have free speech on that. Now, jury tampering is another beast altogether. When you're actively trying to influence jury members, when you're going out and for however threats, bribes, whatever. I mean, that's where you're going. But yeah, tainting a jury. I mean, again, it's a good question. Potentially, there are laws about tainting juries. By the way, there are specific ones. But again, you have to remember that we do have the ability to have. Well, first of all, we have freedom of speech. But beyond that, freedom of speech doesn't protect you against consequences for specific actions. But we are allowed to have opinions, though, on cases. There are laws that protect that kind of stuff. And we can have opinions on certain people. That's why, when trials go on with a celebrity, for example, and people are out there and they say, God, I think that person's terrible. They're guilty. Why aren't there lawsuits on every single person out there? Well, because we are allowed to have opinions, So you do see accusations, though, of PR and other, like the Justin Adani stuff that's going on right now. The accusations about him from Blake Lively. She was trying to allege that he's basically trying to not just destroy my career, but taint any jury. with this proactive PR campaign, and it's a go-to excuse. So it's an interesting discussion when you get into actual laws that talk about that. And it's very interesting when you see what is sent to people for PR's sake. I'm not talking about like sending an order to the media. Like for example, there were leaked messages between media sources, and with the Amber Heard case, you had Adam Waldman end up, well, I hate to say the word leak. Somebody leaked to him communications between the PR firm that she was using, media, and they would give them the filing, which is fine. But beyond that, they would tell them exactly what to say. And they would even write articles for them in some cases. They would say, here's how you should approach this, and it was amazing to see, because sometimes you would see word for word articles come out like that. Panther, thanks for the fun. Web page, the BBB knows out of place when the address was changed to a person in Jacksonville. Whose daddy lives in Jacksonville? I'm wondering about something right now. I think I can notice something. You actually made me think of something else. I can't say what. Just give me a second, okay? That's it's not right on that, but it's on something else. And thank you. I can't say what right this second, but God, it's strange. Thank you, by the way. That it triggered a thought on something else, something that I'd forgotten about. I didn't get it right down. Thank you. Shifter Brains, thanks for the 20 there. Germany has spent nearly $500,000 in lawyers' fee. The anti-SA is doing everything so he gets views. It turns into YouTube money. I've never heard of anything so ridiculous. Please make it make sense. Yes, I'd love to know how you recoup that type of money. I mean, that type of money is crazy. You realize what kind of a monster YouTuber. There was a YouTuber that was talking about how much they made, and they brought up like a crazy number. They said $50,000 a month. Okay, this one of these big YouTubers. Now, when you think about that, that's before taxes. That's $600,000 a year. Okay, that's a huge, like much bigger than Jeremy Hales. Much larger, by a much larger like motion, like through through algorithm. Also, these people have damage. They have done real substantial damage. But at that size, that's not after taxes. That's not covering the lawyer fees that have come up from this case. Like, you really think about that. Think about how much money you have to make. Like, go in and look up after taxes how much money you have to make in order to cover the ongoing costs of that. That's why with Hales, this is about, like you're saying there, that tells you it's about more than money. It's about making sure you take a stand. Win or lose, it's about trying to clear your name. You see a lot of people try that, though. They try to cover, themselves and clear their names. It's fascinating, too, that these people out there, they call everything in its mother defamation and more. Like, if somebody says something about them, it's suddenly defamatory. Remember, it's defamatory to read a court document that talks about an arrest for some of these folks. But it's not to say that you went to Otter Creek and you had proof that a certain person had off 2 dogs, according to them. You remember that narrative? That was a lot of fun, right? They said that they never supplied all that stuff is cataloged and captured too. But they said that they had proof that Hales had offed a couple of animals in Otter Creek. Somebody's animals. I remember that very well, because I was like, oh my God, are they really saying that out loud? And they did. They put that out into the public. And then they said, we'll show you proof later on. And then it disappeared. So crazy stuff. What's up, Natalie? Thank you. 50 there. Thank you for that. Still not for truck repairs, chicken skins, or cough drops. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you for that, too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like I said, you all make it where I can run a show every day. I get to cover whatever I want every day, and I can do this as work. I hope to be able to do, like I said, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So I would love to be able to do this as my job until, and it has worked out. I've been doing this now for a year. I need to have an anniversary stream, by the way. I do. I need to have a 1 year, fun employment, like when we're talking about that, that's actually a good note, because it has been right on that. I cannot believe that it's been a year that I've been doing this. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. It's crazy to think that I could do this full time. I never, 1 year any of self-employment. I'm making that note for myself. Thank you too. Buck Naked, thanks for the 5. Have you noticed none of the anti-ecosystem has ever appeared on your Smartt fifth grader? That's true. That's really funny. Emmy, thanks for the 5 there. That is very true. Anti-misfits always forget that when you reach out and touch someone, opens you up to be touched back. Indeed. They make threats. They do all kinds of some of the awful stuff that they have said publicly. Again, it amazes me. William, thank you for the phone there. Yeah, macro lens is more than zoom. That's true. That is very true. Basically, in front and behind the phone, the subject is out of focus. Yes, that's true. It should be out of focus. Yes, my word should have been better there. Yeah, it gives greater detail while highlighting subject. Yes, indeed. Yes, my words were not great with that. Yeah, and you have to have specific, you can go in and look at the macro qualities of the lens that you pick up, because I think I have for my my Nikon, I think I have 4 lenses, and one of them, there is one specific, like I said, I have a D3200. I really, like, back in the day, those macro lenses, they were so expensive. Now they're a lot cheaper. Man, I would love to have just a macro setup to take macro photography, because I absolutely love doing that. I'm doing it with a setup that is, it's okay, but comparatively. Now like I said, I was looking at cost of, that technology is still great. It's just outdated, all that technology that, you may have technology that's a decade old, but some of that technology is amazing. Cameras still, those DSLRs, and you're talking about a couple $100 for some of it, where a lens might have cost thousands of dollars in the past. And thank you, like I said, William, thank you for that. That's like I said, my words were not chosen the best, so thank you. Mom, 2 boys, thanks for the 9 months there. 9 months, baby. I hope Shoshay goes after Bruce for defamation. Well, they're in the court case right now. Remember, they've got that one going on where they really stepped in it, as far as going after Shockett and going after Hales, as part of those state cases. So that could really end up causing Bruce some potential problems. I tell you, I feel like sometimes I'm like, Bruce, did you tell him to do that? Because that isn't, I sometimes think, John, did you do that on your own? Did you really ask Bruce for that? Because Bruce, if you told him to do that, man, that's ridiculous to tell him to file it now when everything's shut down. That would have been, you're going to get stricken, and you may really annoy the judge with it. If he did it on his own, I could see that going on. I just, as much, again, I'm careful in what I say with Bruce, because I am not a fan of Bruce Manskin. At the same time, these people owe him a lot, and they consistently They not only didn't listen to him, but I mean, again, many in the ecosystem, they do what they do. They turn on people, and he became their villain of the week for a little while. And some of them still see him that way. You know, when they tell viewers that this guy won't make time for me, again, he built that person up and they stabbed him in the back. Oh God! But I do wonder too, with filings like this, Bruce, did you tell them to file that, or they do it on their own? Because man, that seems like a dumb idea. You know? Amanda, thank you for the 21 months. Thank you for that. That is a huge statement on its own, and much appreciated. Tizzy, what's up, Tizzy the Bones? Thank you for that gifted membership there. Thank you for it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here too. Appreciate those videos as well. Like I said, people need to check out Tizzy the Bounce. Jake's mom, thanks for the. I'm going to try again tomorrow. Very frustrated. Are you talking about the picture thing? Yeah, they well, you run out of. They're weird about credits. They are absolutely weird about credits. That's one of the things. I ran out of credits with Grok. You know, I pay now. I will not. My renewal comes up in April, and it's crazy. The cost for Grok, you know, I had it under Premium Pro, and at the time it was locked in, I think at $12. It is now $32 a month. So mine was locked in for a year. And in the last, good Lord, that would be, so in April, we are talking about 7 months and change. That has gone up from $12 to $32. That's nuts. But yeah, and even with that cost, it's run out of credit. So it's nuts like that. Sandra, thanks for the fun. It's 20th wedding anniversary today. That's awesome. That deserves a song. Again, I don't have an anniversary song, but I will hit a birthday song, and it will become an anniversary song.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday.
Happy anniversary. Woohoo!
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Man, I love it. And much appreciated too. I kind of love the fact that we get to spend people's some of their most important times, you know, later on. Like I said, people go and they do their thing, and depending on which side of the day I catch you on, sometimes I catch you on the back side of it, sometimes I catch you on the front side of it. But you know, it's just like me with Christmas or something else. You know, I get to spend part of that time with you guys. And like I said, I very, very much appreciate that about you folks. 1 minute here. Gosh, this thing locked up rolling. There we go. Travis, thanks for the 10 there. Laying in bed, my coon hound. Yeah, I love coon dogs, man. I used to run around with ours. We used to tree all kinds of just crazy stuff, whatever we'd find out in the nothing, you know. So I used to love the snuggles from you. Makes me feel not alone. Love the stream tonight, brother. Here's another fine for the kids. Ain't much, but what I got, you know. Hey, well, first of all, I'm just glad you're here, brother. You know, and that is very much appreciated. Thank you. And I'm glad we got to have a stream. Like I said, it's fun. We get to hang out. We get to actually do something with each other. And I like that. And Tinsel, what's up, Tinsel? Thank you for the hundo there. Thank you. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas. Take time off and enjoy your family. Indeed. You know, and to make this clear, I definitely do. See, before, in the last year, you know, before I was holding down a job and YouTube. So I would do a day job and I would do all my research time, everything else. And it was just exhaustive. you know. It was. And luckily, like, this has felt like a vacation, which is good. With all the medical stuff, I really don't think I could have held that daytime went on. So I've been able to do this, thankfully. But yeah, I feel like it's been almost a vacation in some way. It's amazing. This is work. You know, when if you do something that you love, you know, the old saying on there, you never really work. So I love it. And thank you, Tim. Appreciate you. Andrew, thanks for the two there, Tug. Almost forgot to pay him, or forgot paying my learner tax. Well, I'm glad you're in it. Oh, thank you, man. Or else. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Crystal, thanks for the fun there. Tug, you like scary shows? Watch A Haunting on the tubes. It's fantastic. A Haunting. Let me look that up. I've been watching that. Man, I've been watching Welcome to Derry. That's ooh, man, that was something else. It's been a heck of a show. A Haunting. Are you talking about the 2005 show? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah, for sure. I like it. I've been watching Supernatural again. You know, they're removing it off of Netflix. You know, you're talking 370 something episodes. It's a lot. I've worked my way up to about the 4th season of it. And I like it. It's a lot together. I like Supernatural has a great storyline actually that starts kicking in. They do a good job. Some of it's you know, it's absurd sometimes, but it's fun. It can be funny, serious, and it's horror. You know, so I'm kind of fond of that show. But I've been watching it. And yeah, thank you, Crystal. Thank you for that recommendation. I did mark it for later as when I finished this splurge on that, and I'll probably listen to a book after that. And then from there, I'll be looking for a show. So I appreciate the suggestion. Hey, Sean, thanks for the Tug. DSLR and F-mounted lenses have gotten cheaper, so moved to mirrorless. Look up Nikkor 105. Let's see, the 105 millimeter. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah, I know they've gotten crazy, like cheaper since back in the day. They were just nuts pricing wise. Oh yeah, that's a much better price these days. Yeah, when you can get something for a few $100 versus, God, that's a big difference. I remember like when I used to look for lenses, I'd be like, oh my God, you know, I want this, but yeah, I'd love to have one of those 105s like that. That's a beautiful lens. I'm marked yet. Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, honestly, they used to, you know, they cost 100 when they first came out. They were really expensive. But yeah, a lot of that stuff. It's also as technologies move forward and progressed, a lot of stuff is considered quote unquote obsolete. But you know, the idea of what's obsolete these days is so ridiculous. I love my DSLR, my 3200. I know, again, that's an entry DSLR, but man, I love that camera. I do. The only downside, I would have liked to have like a D7500 or, you know, something in that model because of nighttime shots. But that's not a complaint on that. You know, I always thought, well, one day maybe, but it's never been one of those things that I've been like, yeah, I got to do that. Hey, by the way, oh man, hey, what's up? Let's say, I'm going to say, I.O. your 16th wedding anniversary. That's awesome. I'm going to bust you a song out too. It's going to, you know, again, it will become an anniversary.
Happy birthday!
Anniversary, baby.
From
both
of
all of
us
us
to you. Happy birthday!
Heck yeah.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday! We love to have you here. Happy birthday!
I love it though. I love it. I love the fact that many of you share your happiness with us all. Like that is a big deal. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. So thank you. Oh yeah, wife dog. Thanks for the 2. Pawn shops for the win for Camberlets. Around here, we don't like physically. We don't get a lot of that in with the pawn shops around here. You know, we have a lot of pew-pews, and there used to be a lot more gold. I don't know how gold has been lately with the pricing and stuff. I'm not sure how that's all going. I would think they get a lot more now with people who are like, oh man, I can make a lot for a little now. So, but I never had any real luck with finding like cameras or camera gear. He said, I love macro photography though. I think that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to, you know, to go out and to really try to get that perfect shot on it. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I think Shizzy is live. So my redirect is being weird. Everything's being weird on my freaking thing here. Go check out Shizzy. I believe he's live. Tell him Tug sent you. Sorry for the no redirect. It's just being weird. All right. But thank you all. I appreciate you. We'll be on Megan's show tomorrow. And thanks.